Hey, this makeup, nah, this ain't Maybelline. I believe God wrote the curse, no, I'm teaching my babies to put on their armor and watch for the arrows. Switching the script on the news for the good till they cancel the anchorman Will Ferrell. Now I look like a stranger to the ones that I see in my rear view. Cause God took my life from the pit to the palace. My wife and my twins, all my blessings show up when I hear you. I've been outside really reading up. Back in the day, never read a book. But them red letters hit my dead heart and I came to life and I changed up. Now they wanna know. Tell me who this stranger? Dead man, don't wake up. I ain't going through phases. This right here, the new way to basics. Yeah. Came through on the wrong side, but the Holy Ghost brought it back. Woke up with a new heart, new mind, new purpose and day. Tell me who's this stranger? Tell me who's this stranger? Dead men don't wake up. So tell me who's this stranger? Came through on the wrong side, but the Holy Ghost brought it back. Woke up with a new heart, new mind, new purpose and day. Hold up, I came out the grave. Hold up, they saying behave. Hold up, man, what did you say? Give me some room.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Champion Stadium on a Thursday night football this time. Not brought to you by Amazon Prime, but brought to you by Shiloh Christian Schools. The Saints get ready tonight to take on the Panthers of Siloam Springs. An unusual Thursday night game, a little bit of weather expected here in Northwest Arkansas tomorrow and, unfortunately, again on Saturday. So, see, the flag is kind of blown in from the east right now. We're expecting heavy rain overnight, and there's a possibility of storms and lightning tomorrow, so the two teams agreed to play tonight. In fact, everybody in the 6A West has moved their games up to tonight, along with everybody in the 7A West, so both teams around the area trying to avoid weather as the Saints get ready for this game tonight. They've also postponed homecoming until 2 weeks against Van Buren, which was supposed to be tonight. So a lot of changes tonight. Junior high game going on and down in the River Valley tonight, so we'll give you an update on that in a little bit, but a lot of changes. But one thing that hasn't changed, my man Cliff is back with us after visiting the Duke Blue Devils last week. Did you get a tour of Cameron Indoor while you're there?
I did not. We did that on our visit, but we did have a great weekend. And, man, I listened to you and Hal a little bit last week, Billy, and y'all did a great job calling the game as expected, and the game turned out about like what I thought it would be. Unfortunately for my hometown, Russellville Cyclones, where I graduated from, just not a great game for the Cyclones, on homecoming night there. But big crowd I saw there, and the Saints did what they needed to do to win the game and just stay alive here in the conference race and just that step behind Greenwood and just trying to continue to win. We need another win tonight to just keep a step up on everybody else and try to claim that 2 seed if maybe the 1 seed if Greenwood were to stumble. But for sure, let's get that 2 seed, get a bye in the playoffs, home field game, and then see what happens as we get later in the playoffs.
Saints can go a long way toward getting the 2 seed. And if Van Buren can somehow break Greenwood's long winning streak, could be a 3-way tie for first as we end the evening. So that would be great for the Saints, and we'll take that. So we'll have more of that as we get ready for our pregame show. But we talked to the head coach of the Saints, Coach Tucker Barnard, yesterday afternoon about today's game. So here's the Tucker Barnard Show. You're watching Shiloh Saints football.
Welcome to the Shiloh Christian pregame show.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Coach Tucker Barnard Show. Getting ready for the Saints and the Panthers of Siloam Springs. And Coach, looking back at Russellville last week, super efficient offense. The first 8 possessions, we had 7 touchdowns. We talked about Russellville had struggled came in the game, and your team had great focus and just really efficient football game from the start last week.
Yeah, we've talked a lot about our focus and how we approach every game, and it's been a big focus of ours is to try to make sure that we're doing that. It's funny you say we were 7 of 8. The one series that I could take you through the entire series and what happened is the one that we punted or did not score on. So that stuff kind of sticks with you a little bit. But man, what a great night. Cole Creighton played really well. I think he was 10 of 13, 6 touchdowns. I think Chandler Kemp had 2 receptions for 2 touchdowns, and Zane Slider had 2 receptions for 2 touchdowns. It was a very efficient night. Just jumped out there and got after it, played really well, and got that.
Obviously we talk about the efficiency on offense. Well, part of the reason you get 8 possessions or 9 possessions in the first half, consider the day at the end of the half, was effective defense, got a lot of 3 and outs. Russell had a very athletic quarterback, did a great job containing him last week.
Yeah, we're really concerned about that. I mean, they've frustrated some people, and they've not had a lot of success. That has ended up in the win column. That we talked about some of their scores that we could see their frustrated opponent early in the game, and defensively same thing. We came out and just played really well. A lot of tackles behind the line of scrimmage, and played really physical, violent football game. Corey Miller played amazing. He ended up with a college offer after the game, so that was a new deal. Hunter Kimbrough played it extremely well, really physical. Tate Warner did a great job at interception return for a touchdown. So it was a good night for the Saints.
Yeah, obviously it's special to have your kid playing on the field, but to get a pick six like that, it was a great job. Greg Reed got the touchdown for us. Kind of flipping a little bit to Siloam Springs this week. I guess first the flip. Everything this week's kind of got changed on you. The weather on Friday night being an issue. Probably got people driving home from Clarksville right now watching that. So how do you manage this week where you've got a junior high game in Clarksville going on at the same time as a senior high game? Your preparation week changes. Just I look from a coaching perspective. What all does that do to your staff? It's just everything's changed this week.
Yeah, it's definitely a challenge, and even more so when it happens kind of suddenly to you. When something we were able to really spend a lot of time preparing for, making that decision on Tuesday. Talk to the guys about what it's going to do to our schedule, and we can't really have a day less of preparation. We've just got to squeeze a day of preparation, 2 days into one. That's what we've really tried to do. It's a great opportunity for us to practice being flexible, being adaptable, and that's something that's really important to me with our team. We get in such a routine. We become, where every Monday looks the same, every Tuesday looks the same. Sometimes you can, and I've experienced this in certain teams that have a hard time with change, and something pops up, and it's adversity to them, and I don't really know how to handle it. But we've spent a lot of time talking about that stage, so it's an opportunity for us to practice that. Hey, things are different. We obviously our Wednesday practice schedule has changed drastically. The Thursday has changed drastically. So far, looks like we've done a good job. We'll see what happens.
See what happens tomorrow. From a coaching staff, you get the challenge that even for you guys have to adjust, because you'll have certain coaches with the junior high team in Clarksville who would normally be on the sidelines or in the booth. And from a coaching perspective, how much that threw off your planning?
Yeah, I mean that was probably the hardest part for us in terms of the staff. The decision of who we needed to send was pretty easy, but basically what we've done is we've taken the junior high play callers and we're sending the junior high play callers to a junior high game. And Coach Jordan is the head 7th grade coach, so he'll go. But then Coach Stokes and Coach Barrett will go. Thought it was really important for the junior high team to have some sort of consistency with the same guys calling their plays. For us on Friday night, it's going to be a little bit of a kick in the teeth. That the guys who are really doing a good job for us of seeing what's happening in the field and conveying that to our play callers. We're not there, so we'll do our best to work around that on Friday night. I feel really good about the junior high. They're going to be in great hands. Obviously, we are going to have our guys here.
Yeah. Coaches turn attention to Siloam Springs. The Panthers come in. A program, not just a team, but a program of basketball that really improved. That really struggled for a while. Kind of got a big victory to kick off the season last year. Watch those guys on the field. They're getting better and better each week. Talk a little bit about Siloam, what you have to do to be successful this week.
Well, you talk about the last couple of years. Coach Lockridge is over there now, and a longtime coach at Charleston, and they won a lot of games at Charleston, and he's been at Alma, but I think he's doing a great job with the program. They have some really good football players. They've got some really good young guys. We knew when I was there last year, junior high and JV, and had a tough night. So I do think that they're a program on the rise. They've struggled a little bit this year, to get in the win column. But just like I said about Russell, they've really frustrated some people at times. And we look at the Mount Home game, it was 0-0 at the end of the first, and Mount Home scores a couple in the second, and then goes scoreless again in the third. They're really good up front. I think on the defensive line in particular, what's kind of the strength of the team. So we'll figure out how we can work around that a little bit with us really.
And Coach will wrap it up. Keys to victory for the Saints on Thursday night, not Friday night this week.
Yeah, take care of the football. I think that, if I'm judging from what happened in our junior high games against Siloam, I think they'll probably try to slow the game down, take the air out of the ball, and that tends to limit your possessions offensively. So it makes everything a little more important. We have to really make sure that we do a great job of keeping a focus and not getting too frustrated if things don't go exactly the way we wanted to early. That they should take care of the football and be efficient. Hopefully that'll be last week with Russellville. And defensively, their offense, they've got a freshman quarterback. He's a really talented football player. He's a freshman, so hopefully we can fool with him a little bit. And he got a couple of guys in the Wildcat package that are really strong and really big, physical. So just find a way to slow those guys down and get them behind the stakes.
Yeah. So for the conference game, Saints trying to work toward a playoff bye. You could see what some other things happen in conference. Maybe a number one seed. That would be awesome as well. So Saints and Shiloh get ready for football on a Thursday night this week. And so thanks for Tucker Barner for joining us. We're watching the Tucker Barner pregame show, Shiloh Saints football.
This has been the Shiloh Christian pregame show.
Welcome you back into Champion Stadium on a Thursday night as the Saints get ready to take on the Panthers of Siloam Springs. About 9.5 minutes ready as we get ready for kickoff of this football game. The Panthers come in with a 2-5 record. They are 0-4 in conference play and have really struggled the last 3 weeks. Have been shut out in back-to-back weeks. But they've been shut out by Van Buren, Greenwood, and Mountain Home, maybe three of the best teams along with the Saints in the 6A West. So they've faced really stiff competition and have really struggled the last weeks. Have played pretty well prior to that. Came in with a 2-2 record and then kind of hit the 3-game losing skid as this one goes in. But Cliff, we were talking about earlier, if you don't know, if you're wondering why we played on a Thursday night, well, maybe if you don't live in Northwest Arkansas, we're expecting heavy rain and thunderstorms all day tomorrow, most of the day Saturday, so there was a chance that weather could postpone, delay. There's just a chance you may not get it in at all, so this was the best alternative to push it up one night to go through. So, Cliff, we had an interesting stat we were talking about in the booth. This is not the first non-Friday night game the Saints have played.
It's not. It's actually tonight will be our 22nd, if you can believe that, the 22nd game Shiloh has played. I'm really stretching on this fact here, Billy. Just all kinds of stats and statistics out there. You can find things for anything. But the 22nd game Shiloh has played that's been on a non-Friday night. Had a lot of games through the years. Part of the Hootens Kickoff Classic on Monday nights. We've had several Thursday games. And really the last non-Friday game that these Saints played in was in 2018, so not too long ago, right here at Champion Stadium against Arkadelphia. If you remember that game, if you followed Shiloh through the years, that was a playoff game, and there was a similar situation to this. Weather coming through on Friday, so the teams agreed to play the game on Saturday. Really weird to kind of have a game here on Saturday night at Champion Stadium. The Saints ended up losing that game 30-17 to Arkadelphia. But if you go back through the years, by the records that I came up with this week, West Fork back in 1998 was played on a Thursday night, and really Ryan Williams helped me with this, and he's played here and has gone, goes through the history of Shiloh much longer than I have, and he said, back during Gus Malzahn's days as coach here, they would play like the last game of the season on a Thursday so that they could go scout teams on Friday, get ready for the playoffs. And so that makes sense. Teams don't really do that as much anymore. I mean, you've got so much video and huddle and all that you can see games. You don't have to go and scout in person per se. But I just thought that was interesting. Shiloh 13-6-2 all time on non-Friday night games. Here we are on a Thursday night. Let's try to make it 14-6-2 after tonight.
Yeah, it is. That is funny you say that, Cliff. That's in Mississippi where I grew up, that was a very common thing. A lot of teams played games on Thursday night, the last regular season game, to be able to go scout somebody. Of course, that was the days you popped a video into a VCR. Nowadays, you've got huddle film on the everybody. We even as the broadcasters, we watch huddle film on Siloam Springs just to kind of see who their best players are to go with that. But kind of flipping it over a little bit, you see the captain's about to head out for the Saints. Cliff, last week, another great week for Cole Creighton. Really threw the football well, and all time he's catching up with some names that are famous in Shiloh football.
Yeah, I mean, you guys didn't bring that up last week. I don't know why you didn't with all your stat keeping last week while I was away. I just kind of joke with that. But Cole Creighton surpassed the 2,000-yard passing mark for his junior season, and we've talked about, man, if Cole had been healthy a full season as a freshman and a full season as a sophomore, you see what he's doing right now as a junior, just where he would be statistically. One of the great quarterbacks here at Shiloh Christian School. You think through the years, all the quarterbacks who have come through and played in this program and the success that they have had and the numbers they put up, Cole Creighton right now, like you said, he's 8th all-time here at Shiloh Christian School passing with over 4,500 yards. And again, he's really only played, maybe one full season probably out of 3 years because of injuries. So Cole just having a great junior campaign. He's got 2 leading receivers. Again, Zane Slider having a great season, over 1,200 yards receiving this year. He is currently 6th all-time. Shiloh's had some great receivers through the years, and Zane Slider putting his name on the list. He could move up to 5th in the next week or two, possibly. And then Chandler Kemp, he's getting close to 1,000 yards receiving. He's at 995 yards on the season, and he is currently 8th all-time in receiving yards here at Shiloh Christian School. So just some great athletes, and we could name a whole lot of other players. It's good to see Griffin Mason come back last week. He had 4 carries, didn't really need him, but 4 carries and I think 60-something yard, 15-yard average, whatever it was. So it's good to see Griffin back on the field. One of our captains here tonight, as you see the officials there at midfield. And the coin toss. We'll get ready to go here in just a minute.
Shiloh has won the toss, and they elect to receive. All right, guys, shake hands.
Maybe you could hear the field mic from the mic. He turned it on really quick there. Saints won the toss, and unlike last week where the Saints deferred, Saints elected to take the football tonight, and they will have it first. So going into a pretty stiff wind. We'll talk about a little bit of a wind and field conditions later. But, Cliff, let's talk about Siloam. As we mentioned, 2-5 overall, 0-4 in conference play. They have really struggled the last 3 weeks. Shut out 3 back-to-back weeks. They lost to Van Buren 38-0, Greenwood 42-0, Mountain Home 33-0, and then after a pretty competitive game with Lake Hamilton, they started out non-conference play 2-1, but Cliff in conference play they're averaging 5 points a game while giving up 42. They've really struggled.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking at what you just said there, and Siloam, they just want to put some points on the board tonight if they can. Like you said, been shut out in the past 3 conference games. They play some great opponents, but still not able to put points on the board. As you said, Siloam comes in conference play, which is a good barometer because in non-conference you can play different teams and rack up points, kind of like Shiloh did against Bethany, a 72-0 win. So you look at conference play; those are common opponents. And Siloam, again, giving up 42 points per game, only scoring 5. You're not going to win many conference games by that kind of average there. Shiloh, on the other hand, comes in averaging 46.5 points a game, yet they're giving up 29.5. So the Shiloh defense has given up some points, but the offense, obviously, they are clicking and they're rolling and they're putting up enough points to have some pretty big wins in their own right here. So we'll see what happens tonight between the Panthers and the Saints. Shiloh's looking to move to 4-1 in conference play, put up points tonight, keep Siloam out of the end zone. Siloam just wants something good to happen. Let's try to get some points on the board and play good defense and see if they can pull an upset here. Again, they're 0-4 in conference. and really trying to just have something positive happen. They don't want to go 0-5. That really puts you in a bad spot for a playoff possibility. Again, Shiloh still trying to win a conference championship and still trying to get cement their place in the conference and get that first round bye.
Well, one fun thing about the 7:30 kickoff, it's dark. So for the first time really all season, we get to see the light show. We get to see the fire in the dark as the Saints get ready to come on the field here in just a few seconds. So Shiloh getting ready, as Cliff mentioned. Siloam struggled, but this is a huge game. If they want to make the playoffs, they got to find a way to get a victory right now as they go through. With a manageable schedule the last 2 games, they got an opportunity if they can pull one out tonight.
Yeah, and I don't know if we talked about this, but all time, the Saints and the Panthers have only played 2 times. They played last season. Shiloh won at Siloam 45-6, and they played back in 2013 in the Hooten's Kickoff Classic at Razorback Stadium. It was a 35-35 tie back in 2013. So Shiloh all time, I mean, Siloam's just right down the road. You kind of think through the years, and I know at younger ages they have played a lot, but on the Friday nights, or in this case a Thursday night, Shiloh and Siloam have not met on the varsity football field very often. Shiloh owns a 1-0-1 record against the Siloam Springs Panthers, again trying to make it 2-0-1 after tonight.
All right, Saints are going to receive the opening kickoff. They will be going into a wind that's across the field. So if you're looking at the camera angle, the wind is blowing in our face. Pretty stiff, about 10 to maybe 15 miles an hour, a little bit of gusty, a little bit of chill in the air tonight. So it's not bad, but we will take it. So there's the kick. It's going to be kind of a sky pooch kick. Saints are going to run and take it. Oh, they run into each other and then fall down at the 22-yard line. So worked out great for Siloam on the pooch kick there as the 2 Saint players ran into each other, and it'll be 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line. Saints led out by quarterback Cole Creighton. Again, Griffin Mason was able to come back last week from an injury that he sustained against Lincoln Christian earlier in the year. Had a good week, but as Cliff mentioned, just really didn't need him a lot. Saints got a big lead, decided to save some of those reps off of Griffin as much as we can as we get ready for the playoffs here in a few weeks. But we'll get Griff on the ground probably a little bit more tonight, one would think. Shiloh's going to run trips to the left on 1st down with Mason to the right of Cole Creighton as the referee signals the play in, and here we go. They'll send it back in motion. Griffin right up the middle, big hole, 35, all the way up to the 39-yard line. Saints did a little something different, put a kind of a tight end H-back in motion across the way, and a big ripping run on 1st down for Griffin Mason right up the middle. So Shiloh with a 1st down on the opening play to put Matt Kimbrough into block right there. Hand off Griffin again, another big hole, 40, and he's going to be tripped up, though, at the 43-yard line, so he'll pick up 4 on that play. 2nd and 6 for the Saints. So Saints will move quickly. When you get to Siloam on the opposite end of the field, they will try to take the opposite. They're going to really try to, as Coach mentioned in the pregame show, they're going to try to take the air out of the football. And when we say that, what we mean is they're going to take a lot of time off the play clock, try to shorten the game with a freshman quarterback who's very talented, but a freshman quarterback out there. Bodenstein in motion across all the way there. Cole's going to let him get reset on 1st down. Creighton with an empty backfield, has time. Now it breaks down. Still looking down the field. Cole fires a bullet at the 43. Did he catch it? Looks like Griffin did. Yep, Griffin pulled that one off the carpet. And a 1st down at the 43-yard line. So the Saints convert that one there. Good job by Cole, kind of extending the play. And then Griffin caught it right off the top. So Griff getting carries and Griff getting catches early in this football game. Bodenstein, H-back left, bubble this way to Kim. One-on-one out there is Chandler to the 40, to the 35. Takes a big hit. It may be a face mask, I think, on Siloam, as the defensive back right there, number 1, Freddie Renderis, had a hold of him. And actually, Cliff, I think they're going to call him for a horse collar tackle. So,
Personal foul, horse collar on the defense. 15-yard penalty added to the end of the run. 1st down.
So it is a horse collar tackle. If you're not super familiar, you're like, what's a horse collar tackle, Cliff? That's the Terrell Owens from the Cowboys role. Broke his leg in an NFL game. So you've seen that penalty trickle its way all the way down to youth football. Kind of protect the players a little bit. At the 17, 1st down and 10 for Shiloh. 10:54 to go in the 1st quarter. Saints on the move. Kemp's going to run an orbit motion behind the quarterback. Handoff, Griffin coming right up the middle. Griffin cuts outside, and it's going to be a tackle by Renduris. There's 4 flags on the field. So number 1 for the Panthers is probably going to get his second straight penalty, it looks like. So at the 16-yard line is where they pick the flag up and drop it.
Holding, offense, personal foul, face mask on the defense. Those penalties offset will replay first down.
Okay, so offsetting penalties, a hold against the Saints, a face mask against the Panthers of Siloam. So they'll redo first down. Saints will send Cohen Beach in the slot to the left, along with Chandler Kemp coming this way. Bodenstein, the H-back to the right. They're going to send Beach in motion across the play. Cole's going to flip it around to Chandler, who's going to throw it in the back of the end zone. Can he stay in there? Yes, he can. Nice job by Slaughter in the back of the end zone for a touchdown. So Chandler Kemp gets a touchdown pass. And Shiloh 10-26 already into this game. They drive right down the field for the touchdown. And, Cliff, that's the kind of drive you want. That's why you take the ball to receive the game. You want to go down and send a statement early.
Absolutely, and just Siloam had no answers for this Saint offense as they were led on the ground by Griffin Mason. Good to see him back. 2 carries for 21 yards. And you saw Chandler Kemp with a 12-yard reception, Griffin Mason a 14-yard reception, and Chandler Kemp with the 17-yard touchdown throw.
Saints are going to option it out to Griffin Mason. He's to the corner, and he gets in. So it's 8-0 Shiloh as they convert the 2-point conversion. Like the numbers off the kind of swinging gate formation there. Ran a little different wrinkle that we haven't seen off that one. Ran the option that time, and it's 8-0 Saints, 10:26 to go here in the first quarter. And so Shiloh off to a good start.
Yeah, so if you're Siloam Springs, boy, that's not the start you wanted defensively. Just no answers for the Saints, and Saints doing it on the ground, doing it through the air, and they put the first touchdown on the board. 2-point conversion is good. Now the Saints will kick off, and it's a great start for Shiloh here on Thursday Night Football from Champion Stadium.
So we'll get ready to kick it off with the Saints leading 8-0, just 10:26 in. Took the opening drive right down. Aiden Eastwood will kick it off. Aiden's done a good job of the kicking game the last 2 weeks, but Russellville last week returned their, what was essentially for them, the opening kickoff after a Saints score back for a touchdown. But the Saints after that adjusted and pinned them deep the remainder of the night. So see what Siloam wants to try to return here. Saints are going to set it up. Kind of an angle kick again. Right now we're kicking into the wind, so Aiden's going to have a little bit of tough one. There's an angled kick. It's going to hit at the 21, take a high bounce. They're going to field it at the 20 and take it down right there. Great coverage by the Saints, as basically no yards on the return at all for Siloam. Is back deep to return right there is number 1, Freddie Renderis, who had the penalty earlier, as Kemp with a TD pass to Slider. As the Saints get the first points of the game, leading 8-0, as now the Panthers will come out for their first possession. While we got a second, we'll give a shout-out to our 7th grade football team. They are kind of a weird night. We got 7th grade and junior high in Clarksville. 7th grade won tonight, 44-6 over the Panthers to move to 5-2 overall. So my number 8, we used to have number 8 up here for Cliff. Now I got a number 8, so they are driving back. So we're hoping they're safe and happy as the Saints have a victory there. Trying to get one here. Handoff on the first play. Good run for Siloam. They're going to rip one up to the 27-yard line. That's number 3, Mason Short. He's a senior, 6'2", 202. One of the guys that's kind of the workhorses off of this team for Siloam. He will get a lot of carries along with number 16, Ryan Estacio. He's the other 2 running backs. So as you can kind of see, the Panthers, they're not going to get in a hurry, Cliff. They want to drive. They had almost an 8-minute drive against Mountain Home last week. They want to slow it down.
Well, if you get behind in a game too fast and too far, Billy, it's going to be tough to have that game plan. But there's a nice run and pick up first down as the Panthers move the chains, 2 plays. And so offensively, they're moving it on the ground, is what they like to see there on the left side. But, yeah, you talk about the 7th grade game tonight down in Clarksville. You got junior high playing right now in Clarksville. Then you got volleyball at Farmington. So, man, Shiloh Athletics just spread out all over Northwest Arkansas here tonight.
There's a rolling right. Pass is behind Estacio, incomplete at the 37-yard line. So the Panthers, first time they try to put it in the air, incomplete. Second down and 10. Panthers, as we mentioned, have a freshman quarterback, number 2, Titus Benson. He's a freshman, 6 foot 180. Throws it pretty well for a freshman. We saw him warm-ups. He was throwing it 40 yards down the field pretty effectively. So Panthers obviously putting a freshman out there. They believe in him a lot. But, yeah, Cliff, you mentioned I know the 7th grade volleyball team has already won tonight. I got a friend whose daughter's on the team, and they sent that out. So good start. Everybody's winning. We just want to keep that going tonight. At the 36, low snap. They're going to hand it coming this way, hitting the backfield, and then he's going to be piled and pushed down. A whole bunch of blue jerseys are going to get short on there. So they try to stretch that and out. Couldn't do anything. And now you have Siloam in the situation you want him in. 3rd and 10. And a long first down yardage here. About 9:08 to go in the first quarter. Saints lead 8-0.
So if you're Siloam Springs, you're already down a score here, down 8 points. You want to pick up some good yardage here on 3rd down, potentially setting up going for it on 4th down if you don't pick up the first down. Naturally, they would like to go ahead and move the chains right here and keep the drive going. If you're Saint defense, you want to stop, force a punt.
At the 37, it's going to be a direct snap, and now they're going to throw it. Pass is caught at the 40 and at the 41. And, Cliff, I don't want to totally tip my hand, but, man, that looked like a hook and ladder they were trying to set up right there. The Saints just kind of had taken away the ladder, so you kind of had to eat it. So short gain right there for Siloam, but it sure looked like they were trying for the trick play there.
So if the Saints took away the ladder, it was just a hook.
It's just the hook. The hook without the ladder is not a very effective play in football. So 4th down, and Siloam's going to have to punt it away. They do have a very good punter at times, and it's right on cue. He booms one over the head, and it's going to roll the 20, the 15, and all the way down to around the 13-yard line where Siloam downs it. So very good punt there as the line of scrimmage was his own 41. And then pins the Saints inside the 20-yard line. But for a Shiloh offense, they can go the length of the field, so not a problem there. Saints lead 8-0 early in this one.
Just got an update from Hal Ramsey, who is at the junior high game in Clarksville. Our junior high Saints are up 32-0 with a minute left in the first half. So you said the 7th grade team rolled to a win at Clarksville. Now the junior high team doing the same right before the half, so congrats to those guys so far.
Yeah, the junior high team undefeated right now. There's a flag. They're going to blow this one dead pre-snap. Maybe a false start.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay first down.
It is a false start on the Saints, so they're going to back up even a little bit further after starting at the 13. Now they're back at the 8 with 1st down and 15. So Siloam playing kind of a too-high safety look, trying to keep everything in front of them as best they can, not let anybody get behind them. Kemp's going to shift over, and the Saints are going to go kind of a overload to the right side here. There's the snap. Handoff. Griffin's going to cut it back. Griff up the middle, lowers his shoulder, and goes up to the 18-yard line. So good run by Griffin there. Saints kind of went overload right with a good cut back left. So Griffin's going to rip off 10 yards on that play, as the Saints will go quickly on 2nd down and 5. There's a snap. Cole's going to roll right. He's going to take off, run into the 20 to the 25, and Cole slides down at the 27-yard line. But that's enough for a 1st down, as Creighton with a 9-yard carry. Cole had a 32-yard touchdown run last week against Russellville early in the football game, and he can take it off. So Saints have obviously tried to keep Cole smart. Well, we have a penalty marker down. Looks like this may be a whole player down for Siloam. I see the official had picked something off the field. I thought he picked the flag up, but they have a Panther down. But, yeah, last week Cole had his really the longest rushing touchdown of the season, just kind of a play action. He kept it around the edge and to go through. But, obviously, with the injuries, we've tried to be really careful with Cole. That's why you see him sliding right there. But, man, he's a guy who's quick. He can run the football for sure.
Yeah, you really can. I mean, you don't want your quarterback running a whole lot, especially with the injuries that Cole has had the past 2 seasons. But you can see, or I've seen this season, Billy, he has just gotten more confident in running and getting down, getting out of bounds, and just being a little smarter there. I mean, he's maturing as a player, and doing a great job of running when he has to, when it's called, when he's flushed out of the pocket. Thankfully, he hasn't been pushed out of the pocket too often this season. But yeah, rushing, I don't know if I have his rushing stats here. Yeah, Colt Creighton here. He came into the game just carrying the ball 19 times for 123 yards, and then just had, after that play right there, another 9-yarder. So 130 yards rushing so far on the season. Very adequate from the quarterback position, who doesn't need to run much.
So the Saints are going to go to the 30, the 35, the 40. Kemp to midfield, the 45, the 40. Chandler just running away from the defense of Siloam. 10-5 touchdown Saints. So 7:06 rather to go in the first half of the first quarter. And Shiloh already has a 14-0 lead on a 73-yard touchdown for the Saints. And so, boy, Cliff, there's one thing Siloam couldn't do is have to give up a chunk play, 73 yards right out of the bat. And after a drive where they had Saints backed up at their own 8, no problem for the 92 yards.
No, really not. Again, so many weapons on this Saint offensive unit. We talked about Cole Creighton and then Griffin Mason from the running back position, as there's a timeout for.
They're going to send Beach off the field. I'm not sure if it was a
maybe it's
knee
a knee pad deal.
Yeah.
But
So
then you just
saw
Chandler Kemp right there, just the weapon he is on the outside. Great hands, great vision down the field to find open gaps, follow a block. But, boy, when Chandler got the ball on the Shiloh sideline there, he just outran the Panther defense for the 73-yard touchdown score. The kick is up, and the kick is good, and the Saints are up 15-0 here early in the first quarter.
Saints off to a good start. And you'll see the replay here from Chandler Kemp's touchdown for the Saints. So just a little bubble left, and got to give the wide receiver, Slaughter in particular, you see the pancake block right there. I'll be happy on film when the Saints look at that. And Kemp, the recipient of the long touchdown run after the bubble pass. So Slaughter with a good block. While we got a moment, 2025 sponsors of Shiloh Christian Football, legendary level sponsors, Geo Surfaces, Roush Companies, Mr. Sparky, the Frame Family, elite level sponsors, Bassett Home Furnishings, Bowen Kemp Construction, Chick-fil-A of Springdale, champion level sponsors, Prism Pools and Outdoors, who present us our play of the game, Fireman, Arvest, Reliable Poultry, Quality Millwork, Advanced Primary Care, Roush Companies, Ty King DDS, Harps Food Stores Incorporated, Stubbs Center for Cosmetic Surgery, Fastlane Entertainment, C.R. Crawford Orthodontics, Osage Air, Wright's Barbecue, Bacchus Concrete, Midland Industrial Service, Prestige Hormone Health and Wellness, and Arkansas Children's Hospital Northwest, sponsors of 2025 Shiloh Christian Saint football on a Thursday night. So it's normally on Amazon Prime. The Saints have looked prime early, up 15-0, as there's a kick bobbled by the up back for Siloam, and he gets planted at the 31-yard line. So probably not exactly the guy that the number 89 Blake Hull, 6'2", 235-pound 10th grader who caught that pass, right, or caught the kickoff rather. Saints got him on the ground. So at the 32s where they'll mark it, 1st and 10. Saints leading 15-0, 7:01 to go first quarter.
You know, we talked about all the Shiloh Athletic teams that are in competitive events tonight, scattered around the area. This coming Monday, our Shiloh cross-country team is hosting the cross-country championships, and we'll have junior high runners running. We'll have senior high runners running. This is coming up Monday, October 27th. Maybe a little sloppy track after the rain we're getting this weekend, but those runners don't care. Shiloh Cross Country, great running team, and led by some great runners. And I'm sure they'll have a great meet on Monday.
Stacio with a carry there for the Panthers, gain of 2. 2nd down and 8 from the 34-yard line. And, yeah, Cliff, if the rain comes that they're predicting, they will probably run it in the mud on Monday a little bit. But cross-country is such a unique sport. You may run in the mud. You may run in the heat. You may run in the cold. You get a lot of different elements. So at the 34 for 2nd down and 8 for the Panthers. Handoff to the running back. Good hold to the 40, to the 42. And he's going to get the 1st down. So that's short. Again, he's the kind of the main ball carrier for Panthers, kind of spinning and getting the senior gets the 1st down up to the 42. For Siloam.
You know, another thing you'll notice if you watch here online and kind of see the Shiloh sidelines at times, we don't see very many coaches down here. I mean, you don't really think about that with 7th grade and junior high being in Clarksville. Don't have as many coaches on the sidelines or up in the booth, and having to kind of split duties here tonight between our junior high staff and senior high staff.
At the 42-yard line, it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Panthers. They're going to hand it to Short again up the middle. He's hit at the line of scrimmage and thrown down there. Maybe falls forward for a yard. So 2nd and 9, 5:40 to go in the first quarter. Saints 15-0. But, yeah, Cliff, we talked a little bit about that in the pregame with Coach Barnard. Like, when you have 2 games in 2 different places, unfortunately we weren't playing, Farmington or somewhere close where you could shuttle back some coaches. It was going to be, all right, the play callers for junior high and 7th grade, you're heading to Clarksville, and everybody else is going to go up. So Coach Barnard was talking about some of the coaches are going to have to do some extra things this week. And I even kind of noticed the way they're spread out on the sidelines is a little different this week, trying to catch all the angles. At the 43, they're going to hand it to Short. He spins in the backfield, and he's going to be met by 3 blue shirts as Matt Kimbrough, one of the guys on the tackle right there for the Saints, along with Brody Francis. So a loss back to the 41 and 3rd and 11 for Siloam.
Well, in some ways, this is kind of like going back to when you and I, Billy, were in junior high or high school. Not that I played junior high or high school football, but we just didn't have a whole lot of coaches. And Shiloh has been blessed, and teams just around our area have a lot of coaches these days. It's just kind of the climate we're in the coaching world.
Back to pass, fires in the flat, incomplete as Siloam tried a little bit of a trick formation right there. They put Boaz Benson, the junior, in at quarterback, let him throw the football, and he throws it, but it's incomplete. So Benson's a guy they like to kind of run the Wildcat with. They tried to let him throw it on 4th and 11, incomplete. So into punt now is Short. So Mason, Siloam is kind of in a quick kick formation, and the Saints are going to call a timeout. They didn't like what
Well, they
Siloam
weren't really
was lined
set
up
up
in,
and kind of late run onto the field. But, this is kind of like going back 20, 30 years ago in high school football, just having a smaller amount of coaches on the sidelines. But Shiloh's doing okay again in Clarksville. They're doing okay here at Champion Stadium tonight as Shiloh calls a timeout, and we'll think about, probably make Siloam think about it as well. 4th and 11 from their own 42. They saw Shiloh kind of scrambling around on the defensive side. Maybe they thought they could catch them off and potentially pick up these 11 yards and keep their drive going. But they may come out of this timeout and just decide to go ahead and punt it back. But you're down 2 scores early. You don't want to give the ball back to Shiloh yet. And it's just a situation that's not great. As you see, a lot of substitutions there on your screen. And that's what Shiloh's going to do. What Siloam's going to do. They're going to punt it now.
Yes, Saints had to keep the defense out on the field in case Siloam kept their offense out. And now the Panthers will shift into punt formation, although Siloam just ran a player off the field, but they only have 10. So they're going to have to shift another player. They haven't set the play clock, so they're still okay on time. And they will punt it away. Beach is back deep at the 25. Again, the wind is kind of blowing in the face of the Saints from east to west. High snap, can Short get it off? Slider nearly blocked it. Maybe he actually did a little bit. There's a flag down. Ball's going to hit at the 40 and roll dead at the 33-yard line of Shiloh. So there is a flag down at the 32-yard line. Won't be roughing or running into the kicker. Saints got it clean, so there wouldn't be a flag there. See if maybe it was a holding on Siloam. Their coach is out at about the numbers on the other side. So we'll see if it was a penalty against Shiloh of some sort right here.
Well, it's kind of thrown like where there'd be a hold, but Siloam's acting like they've got their offense on the field.
Personal foul, roughing the snapper on the defense. It's a 15-yard penalty, an automatic first down.
Okay, roughing the snapper, so something you don't see. Basically, for protection of the snapper when they snap punts, extra points, whatever, field goals, you can't hit the snapper. So someone there must have hit it, and that's where that flag was, right in the middle of the pile. And that will give Siloam, when they mark the 15 yards off a first down. And Cliff, every week we do this, we learn something. We had a unique situation last week's game with Russellville with an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty that gave us half the distance but wasn't an automatic first down. So I went and did some research during the week, and there's only 2 penalties that give you a first down: roughing someone, passer, snapper, whatever, would be one of those. So unfortunately, the Saints got one that wouldn't have mattered for the distance, but it would have given them an automatic first down either way at the 44, where last week that unsportsmanlike conduct actually didn't. There's a pass down the left sidelines. It's knocked away, incomplete. Good job by as Salter there was on the coverage at the 17-yard line. Salter was like, hey, give me some offensive pass interference. The receiver climbed my back there.
Yeah, Salter had the play on the ball, and that receiver for Siloam becomes a defender at that point. He knew that the ball was underthrown, and he just got to go knock it away from Salter. So good defensive position there by the senior quarterback.
So second down for the Panthers at just inside the 45-yard line of Shiloh. Saints kind of have an overload that way. They'll send Short in motion, and he starts up the field a little too quickly. So the quarterback just threw it anyway, and he almost drilled his receiver in the head, who had kind of stopped when the flag got.
Dead ball, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, replay second down.
Who had stopped when the flag got thrown. So fortunately there it didn't hit him there, but just a little bit of a penalty. And boy, Cliff, talk about offense that's struggling. That's when you struggle, when you have pre-snap penalties and just kind of set yourself in, again, second and long.
Yeah, this is the best field position and drive Siloam has had tonight. Still here in the first quarter, but they're shooting themselves in the foot here a little bit with some penalties.
So ball is at the 49-yard line in Shiloh territory, but second down and 15 for the Panthers as they've got they nearly had a false start on the receiver here. He got set back. Quarterback's going to get drilled as he throws it, and it's Salter again down the left sidelines, knocking it away, incomplete at the 24. So Salter kind of gets up and gives him the old defensive back, you're not throwing on me look, but they've tried at him a couple times, and it's going incomplete. So it's going to bring up third down and 15 for the Panthers. 4:02 to go first quarter. It's been all of Shiloh so far, 15-0 the lead over Siloam Springs. While the Panthers get set, we got an update from that junior high game. They've gone to the halftime down in Clarksville, and the Saints lead 32-0 over Clarksville at the half. So trying to kind of sweep those two games over the Panthers down there in Clarksville, and the senior high Saints trying to take care of some more Panthers up here at the Siloam Springs variety. Handoff right up the middle to Short. He spins for a couple, gets it back to the original line of scrimmage at the 44, but that's all he's going to get. So 4th and 10 for Siloam at the St. 44 as we're under 4 minutes to go in the first quarter. Siloam is leaving the offense on the field, and you kind of feel like they sort of have to down here 15-0 early in this football game.
Yeah, it's not a great position for Siloam to be in, Billy. You don't have an offense that puts up a lot of points. I mean, they've come in with not putting up any points, as we talked about the past 3 weeks, and so they're just trying to find an identity on their offensive side. And is it running? Is it passing? But they're going to go for it on 4th down here, and like you said, they kind of have to. Don't want to give the ball back to Shiloh if they can help it.
They're going to call a timeout as the play clock was at 1, so they couldn't get the snap off in time. They were trying to send Short in motion and get him reset, but they couldn't do it. So the offensive coaching staff a little frustrated for Siloam on the other way. But good timeout by them. 3:09 to go in the first quarter. Kind of had that do that on 4th down and 11. Well, we got a moment. We'll take some of our super Saint level sponsors of Shiloh Christian Football in 2025, Family Legacy Planning, PRZ CPA and Advisors, Sims and Renner Insurance, Burn Boot Camp of Fayetteville and Springdale, Goldfish Swim School, Canis, Rogers Insurance, ANKR, Black Hive Corporation, Body Balance, First National Bank, Retriever Academy, AR Care, Elite Masonry, Starwood Customs, a teamwork core value signed by the Creighton family, Colonial Hills Landscape, Eclipse Construction, Daisy Outdoor Products, Jetson Covington, Williams Tractor, TRS Healthcare, Paint Innovators Incorporated, Impressions Online Boutique, Harris CPA LLC, ERC Companies, Oakey Construction, Wild Birds Unlimited, Tesseract Fab LLC, For the Kids Scholarship Program, and Nordic Haas, our Super Saint level sponsors. On 4th down, they're going to throw a pass down the middle, and Short drops it at the 32-yard line. Would have been a first down if the senior had been able to hold on to it for the Panthers. Couldn't do it. They tried to pump and go double move down the sidelines and sip their kind of main man Short up the seam. It worked pretty good. He just didn't catch the football, so the Panthers turn it over on downs at their own 44-yard line. So 3rd straight possession, Cliff, Saint defense has gotten a stop.
Yeah, defense is doing a great job, and like you said, Siloam had a first down there, found a crease in the secondary, just not able to bring it in. So the ball goes back to the Saint offense.
So at the 44, 1st and 10, Bodenstein's going to shift out to the right. They'll send Griffin Mason to the backfield. Now they'll send Chandler Kipp in motion across the formation. Slider in motion across the formation. Handoff is going to be to the 49-yard line. And Mason Mounts had a little fun on that play, Cliff. He pancaked his defensive linebacker at the 42 of Siloam. Drove him way down the field. 2nd and 5, play action to Mason. Cole's going to throw it deep down the left sideline. 1-on-1 with Kemp. He's got it, the 10-5, and the ball comes loose. They're going to say an incomplete pass. Chandler had it, just couldn't quite haul it in. Good job by the cornerback right there for Siloam Springs, number 11, Marcus Smith, a sophomore cornerback, 6'4", 154. You know, when I watched film this week of Siloam, Cliff, that was one of the players I kind of put a star by. He's even a sophomore, just kind of looks the part.
And he did a great job playing the ball, staying with Chandler Kemp, and not just giving up. Kemp had the ball initially, but good defensive backs, good safeties. When you're in one-on-one coverage, maybe we'll see what's, I thought the official was going to say something here.
Yep, there we go.
Illegal substitution on the defense. 5-yard penalty. Result of the play is a first down.
Wow. But like, as I was saying, you've got one-on-one coverage there, good coverage by the defender, and you stay with your guy because you never know, after a step or two, you can swat that ball out if they don't tuck it and secure it. And that was what Siloam was able to do on the defensive side and strip the ball from Chandler.
Cole's going to fire it out here to Slider, call the 45 to the 40, and he's going to step out of bounds at the 39-yard line. Good block out there by Huckabee, the sophomore wide receiver who was in the game right there. Did a great job of getting a block, kind of sprung the man a little bit there. So first down for the, so it's actually 2nd and 2. They didn't quite give him the first down, but Griffin's got it here to the 30. Griff to the 25. He's going to be taken off his feet hard at the 24-yard line. So Griff a little slow to get up as he got hit right in the shin, and there's a flag down at the Saint 15, or at the Siloam 15. Yep, official's going to pick it up and say it just fell out of the pocket. So either way, first down for Shiloh and deep in Siloam Springs territory. 2:26 to go in the first quarter. Saints lead the Panthers 15-0 early in this game. Saints will kind of hold it as they're going to change the play at the 24-yard line. Of course, the other big game in the 6A West tonight is Greenwood and Van Buren. They're right before the half, and Greenwood has a 35-3 lead over the Pointers there. So we talked about that game earlier. Huckabee in motion, handoff. Griffin's got a good hold to the 20, 15. Oh, he couldn't quite spin his way through, but he does get to the 13-yard line, and that's going to be a first down. You see one of the Siloam players kind of get up and shove the Saints offensive lineman, but right there, that was just a good driving block by Aiden Higgins. He pancaked his man. Handoff, Griffin again, big hole. Griffin 10-5, he's in there, touchdown. Ooh, he gets hit late in the end zone. Hope Griffin's going to be okay, as it's a touchdown for the Saints and a 21-0 lead over Siloam. Griffin looks like he's okay. A little bit of a limp right there, but got to kind of hit. Yes, one of those tough situations, Cliff. You're deep in the end zone. You don't expect to get hit there, but it is a touchdown. 21-0 Saints, 1:48 to go in the first quarter. Extra point team going to come out with Aiden Eastwood to try to tack on the point. Saints went for the first 2-point conversion and got it. And they've kicked the extra point the last 2 times. So Eastwood be out of the hold of Bodenstein. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is up, and it's right down the middle. So 1:38 to go in the first quarter. Saints have pushed their lead out over Siloam Springs 22-0. As you see the touchdown replay of Griffin Mason.
Yeah, big hole right up the middle. You see Griffin Mason does a great job of one of the best I've seen here at Shiloh of just hitting the hole, seeing the hole, and then just turning on the afterburners, using his speed, his quickness, his power to power his way there into the end zone for his first touchdown of the night. Griffin, 7 catches, 74 yards here in the first quarter.
So Saints lead 22-0.
You know, all 3 drives tonight, Billy, the Saints have scored 1 minute 34 seconds, 42 seconds, 1 minute 18. We've talked about it year in and year out. Just does not take this offense long to put it in the end zone.
So Aiden Eastwood will kick it off, and now Siloam finds himself in the hole they did not want to be in, down 22-0 with 1:48 to go here in the first quarter of this game. Eastwood with a high sky kick. They're going to run up and take it. It's fumbled. It's loose on the ground. Still loose. Big pile. Saints say they have it. They do. A fumble kickoff by Siloam at the 38-yard line. So jumping on top of that for the Saints is big number 16, Josiah Campbell. So Josiah did some kicking for us last year. He comes up big in the kicking game there as the Panthers fumble the kickoff. So at the 38-yard line, Shiloh will take over, already leading 22-0 in this game, as the Panthers make a big mistake right there as they were already trailing big.
So 1:46 left here in the first quarter. Again, I just said the longest scoring drive tonight for the Saints was their opening drive, 1:34. So plenty of time on the clock for the Saints to punch it in, maybe put another score before this quarter ends.
Beach is going to come in motion. They're going to throw a backwards pass to Bodenstein. He's going to turn and throw it down the field. Got a man wide open. Griffin Mason is caught at the 13. Good tackle by Siloam to save the touchdown, but the Saints with a double pass right there as Bodenstein caught it, threw it down to Griffin Mason at the 13-yard line. Saints offense will scurry down. 1:39 to go in the first quarter. 1st and 10. Play action Griffin slant, going to be caught by Slaughter at the 8-yard line. So Cole kind of threw that one low to give his wide receiver a chance to catch it without getting hit hard over the middle. So at the 8-yard line, gain of 5, 2nd down and 5 for the Saints. Shiloh trying to stick it in the end zone again with 1:23 to go here in the quarter. Cole going to hand it to Griffin Mason right up the middle. Griffin to the 5. He's going to plow his way forward to the 3. He's going to be looks like just about a half a yard. Let's see. Are they going to give it to him? They do give him the 1st down, 1st and goal. Griffin Mason right up the middle, almost untouched, and he goes into the end zone for a touchdown. 1:03 to go in the first quarter, and the Saints extend their lead to 28-0 with 1:03 left to go in the quarter. So Griffin with his 2nd touchdown run, as in many drives, and he put it in the end zone there. So Eastwood will come on for the extra point. Again, 1:03 to go first quarter. Saints 4 drops, 4 touchdowns as Griffin Mason has capped off the last 2 on the ground as a senior running back after an injury last week against Russellville, having off to a good start. The officials are talking to the Saint bench about something. Not quite sure what's going on there as Coach Tucker Barnard's out at about the numbers talking to one of the officials. The other officials over talking to, there we go.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 58, Shiloh. Siloam is going to take the penalty on the kick.
So the Saints get called for an unsportsmanlike after the play was over with. Didn't see anything obvious, so not sure what happened there, but so 15 yards, Siloam will take it on the kickoff. So instead of kicking off from the 40, the Saints will kick off from their own 25 as Eastwood will get ready for the extra point. Snap is good, hold is good, kick is on the way, and it is good. So 1:03 left to go here in the first quarter. Saints lead the Panthers 29-0. We'll take a break. You're watching Shiloh Christian Saints football.
Bassett Furniture, next to Target in Fayetteville. Go Saints!
Well, we welcome you back to Champion Stadium, where the Saints have done the work on a Thursday night exactly the way they wanted to. They lead 29-0 with 1:03 to go here in the first quarter. And Cliff, you just watched this game. 4 drives, 4 touchdowns. On the opposite end, Siloam has not gotten past midfield but one time. Just a great performance so far.
Yeah, Saint offense, obviously they're clicking. They're doing what they need to do on the ground and through the air. 4 drives, 4 scores, all very quick. I just said the Saints had 1:46 to put in the end zone.
Fair catch called for by Siloam at the 42. They do catch it this time.
And it only took them 43 seconds. So Saints rolling offensively, doing a great job on the defensive side, keeping Siloam really on their side of the field. They've only had it across the 50 one time. And so if you're Siloam Springs, you're just scratching your head thinking, man, what do we have to do to get a drive going? And really, when they look back at the past 3 weeks, what do we have to do to get in the end zone? Well, they've got to get some first downs if they want to try to get it in the end zone.
So at the 43, first down, Saints show blitz up the middle. Here they come. They're going to hand it to Short, and he's hitting the backfield at the 41 and then push back to the 40. So
great swarming defense there by the defensive line. The linebackers coming up, as you see there on your screen.
See a shot of our band on a Thursday night, kind of playing here early. It's been a pretty decent crowd, Cliff, all considering we push games up to Thursday, and we have a lot of folks, as we mentioned, in Clarksville. I know there's a lot of families tonight, ourselves included. Got one family in Clarksville, one family here. So watching players play at the 41-yard line. They're going to run it this way, and it's to the 40. Boy, good hit by Corbin Miller as he came up right there and knocked number 3, Mason Short, down. So it gets back to around the original line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Officially 3rd and 11 for the Panthers. 10 seconds to go in the first quarter, and that will end. The Panthers are just going to let the clock run out. So, Cliff, as we end the first quarter, that's all you could have wanted. 29-zip Saints.
Yeah, I mean, it's when I look over the play sheet here, I mean, Griffin Mason has led the team on the ground rushing 9 carries for 82 yards, 2 touchdowns. So Griffin last week only had 4 carries. Got a few more tonight, just getting back in game shape, doing a great job. And then leading receiver, you got Chandler Kemp, 2 receptions, 2 big receptions for 85 yards, 1 touchdown. Cole Creighton has only passed the ball 5 times, completed 4 of them for 107 yards, 1 touchdown. You got Jake Bodenstein, 1 throw for 25 yards, and Chandler Kemp, receiver, that's right, Chandler Kemp throwing the ball, 1 reception for 17 and a touchdown. So Saints have done it on the ground. They've done it in the air. They're doing it defensively. They've done it on special teams, recovering a fumbled kick. So, I mean, I just don't know what else to say about the Saint offense, defense, special teams. They're doing it all tonight.
Yeah, complete performance so far for the Saints. As we start the second quarter, Siloam will be at their own 42-yard line with a 3rd down and 11. Saint defense has got to stop every single time the Panthers have touched the ball so far, so they'll try to continue it, and they're going to get a little bit of help as the left guard of Siloam with a little bit of a false start.
False start on the offense. 5-yard penalty, replay 3rd down.
So the lineman for Petticore, the lineman for Siloam, jumps off sides with a false start. So 3rd down and even longer now, 3rd and 16 for the Panthers, as they'll kind of change the formation a little bit. They'll send big number 9, Stuart Schwendinger, the senior, 6'3", 236, will be in the slot to the left. So we'll see if the Panthers try to throw him maybe a little go ball, a little jump ball right here on 3rd down. Saints are showing blitz. They're going to roll right. Passes are going to be caught at the 40 to the 41, and then that's it. Going to be taken down right there as Lowbridge. So the son of the coach for the Siloam Springs Panthers makes the catch, and he's taken down at the 42. Still not back to the original line of scrimmage. 4th down. Panthers are trying to keep. Saints are going to have to burn a timeout right here, as Siloam decided instead of punting to just keep the offense on the field and try to go quick. Saints are running the punt team on.
Timeout.
And they have to burn a
Shiloh.
timeout to keep
That's
it.
the second of the half.
Saints will be down to 1 timeout left, and we'll do it. So while we got a second, we'll take a timeout with them. So you're watching Shiloh Christian Football. Saints lead 29-0.
Serving multiple cities in 9 different states. We are proud to call Northwest Arkansas our home and the Shiloh Saints our team. Mr. Sparky, Northwest Arkansas's favorite electrician. Shiloh Saints. Let's go!
Welcome you back to Champion Stadium. 11:35 to go in the first half. It's been all Shiloh as they lead the Siloam Springs Panthers by a score of 29-0. An update from that junior high game down in Clarksville. The Saints junior high team has a 40-0 lead in the 3rd quarter, so they have the sportsmanship rule in play in that game of junior high. So
I think we can chalk that one up for a victory. 7th grade wins in Clarksville, junior high wins in Clarksville. Again, things looking good here for the varsity Saints, and just turning out to be a good Thursday night here at Shiloh Christian School.
Saints got a sportsmanship rule win in Russellville last week, and well on their way to that here in this game. Short's going to punt this one away. It's an angle kick. Beach, if he wants to return it, he can. Beach is going to just let it go as it kicks inside the 15, down to the 10, and rolls inside to about the 8-yard line. So Beach was trying to pick it up, just couldn't get to it. And you certainly don't want to risk one pick touching it and getting hit and making the ball live. So at the 8-yard line, Saints are going to take over with a 1st and 10. 11:21 to go here in the first half. And so, Cliff, the drive chart for the Saints looks good tonight.
Yeah, it really does. I mean, it's a coach's dream. You get the ball 4 times, and you put it in the end zone all 4 times. So Shiloh does that often. And, again, we talk about all the weapons that they have, starting with quarterback Cole Creighton and the receivers and offensive line. I mean, everybody is just doing a great job. All 11 guys on the field doing a great job of finding gaps in the sideline defense.
After the kick,
and
blocking the back on the receiving team. Half the distance to the goal, first down.
So illegal block in the back called on the Saints. The flag was at the 30, but it was right behind the official, so nobody could see it. But that'll put us back down inside that. So the ball was spotted at the 8, so now it'll be at the 4. So 96 yards to go for the Saints. A long way here with 11:21. But, Cliff, we had a 92 yards partially due to a penalty earlier, but we covered that. So now we'll just go 96 this time.
Well, absolutely. I mean, the Saint offense have shown that they can score through the air, on the ground, and have sustained drives, put it in the end zone. So we'll see if they can do it again here.
So Griffin Mason's going to take the handoff, and Griff gets back to the line of scrimmage, and that's about it. Actually, that might have been, let's see if the Saints maybe slipped in Charlie on that carry. Yeah, Charlie, the sophomore running back who got that carry, he kind of slipped in right there. So Krell with the carry, the sophomore, 5'10", 179. He's had a really good week last week, just really effective on the ground for the Saints as get some action. So Shiloh's going to shift into an empty backfield look here for Cole with 10:49 to go. Creighton back to pass, quick hitter, caught by Kemp at the 10 to the 15. He's up to the 20 and then takes a big shot from the safeties. He's knocked down at the 20-yard line, so Kemp will fill that one. But it's a good first down for the Saints at the 20-yard line unless there's another flag. Yeah, I think there's one at the 3.
Ineligible downfield on the offense. Half the distance to the goal, replay second down.
So illegal man downfield.
That's tough. He had a great play on the outside there, great throw and catch to Kemp, and kind of got away from your goal line, but Saints with the penalty backing it up, and it's just right at about the 1-yard line. So would it be ironic if for the first time in 3 weeks that Siloam Springs were to score a safety? That would be the only points they've scored.
It's one way to break the shutout streak, getting a defensive safety, but Saints are going to have to do some hard work here at their own 1. Handoff is to Charlie. He gets it out to the 2, maybe the 3, and then Krell's thrown down there. So it's going to be 3rd and 13 as Krell took the carry there and back. But so 3rd and 13, long drive. Got to be really careful here, backed up deep in your own end. Not only do you want some yards for a first down, but you also give your punter some room as well as you're backed up against the back end line. Cole feels the pressure, going to take off and run, makes a man miss to the 10 to the 15 and gets out of bounds with a first down. Just kind of looking to see if there's any flags. Cliff, none. That's going to be a first down carry. So Creighton kind of scrambles and gets a first down. And boy, really demoralizing for Siloam. They had a 3rd and long inside the 20 and they could not get off the field. Saints with a play action. Cole's got a man slider down the open the middle of the field. Can they connect? Oh, just overthrown at the 41-yard line. As he tried to hit slider on the go route, Cole just overthrew it by a hair. 2nd down coming up, but had that play, Cliff, just didn't quite connect.
Yeah, and I think I've talked about this all season long. I think that's just one of the strengths that Cole Creighton brings from the quarterback position is his deep ball throws. He is always on the money. He was on the money there with slider. It's just a yard too long. But, man, what a great throw. Pretty throw, just not able to convert.
Bubble to Slaughter this time, 15 to the 20. Cuts inside to the 25, and then it's taken down there. A little bit of a hit right at the tackle as Coach Barnard's out on the field talking to the official a little bit. Slaughter took a tough hit as he was laying on the ground. Had a man kind of fall on top of him. at the 26-yard line. Gain of 9, though, so a good catch and run by Slaughter there, but he earned those 9 yards. 3rd down and a short 1. Cole's going to fire a bubble this way to Kemp. He's got the 1st down to the 30, 35 to the 40, and he's up to the 45-yard line. So Saints running a little RPO action there and getting the 1st down out to the 45-yard line. So good pickup for Shiloh and another 1st down. Saints were at their own 1 just a few minutes ago. 44 yards later, they've moved it out close to midfield. Cole takes the snap, back to pass, fires the out route short, incomplete, intended for Slaughter at the 44-yard line. Creighton left that one a little bit short. You could almost tell he had lost the grip on that one a little bit, was trying to get it back and just couldn't get it enough on it to get to Slaughter. Also a tough pass there, because if you leave it open and you leave it late, it'll be a pick 6 the other way. So Cole had to put it in one spot, and it goes incomplete at the 45, 2nd down. Saints will go 4 receivers essentially to the right. They're going to run Charlie up the middle, and he's going to get a couple as he picks his way to the 48. There's a flag down at the 47-yard line. So we'll see what the penalty marker is here.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, number 21. 15-yard penalty. Result of the play is a 1st down.
So personal foul, face mask against the Panthers will give the Saints a 1st down. You saw Charlie coming off the field kind of adjusting his face mask. He knew what the penalty was. He felt that one. So at the 38 of Siloam, Saints have come a long way out of the shadow of their own goal post in the 3rd and long inside the 10, have converted here. 3 receivers right. They'll have 1 back in the backfield. Bodenstein will be the tight end to the left. Cole fires it out here to caught at Kemp to the 35, Kemp to the 30, cuts inside, lowers his shoulder to the 25, and carrying Siloam defenders down to the 21-yard line. So a gain of 17 as Cole Creighton hits Kemp to the 21-yard line. It's going to be another Saint 1st down with 8:38 to go in the 1st half. It's been all Shiloh at this point, 29-0. Saints will go quickly. Creighton takes a snap, play action one more time, looks down the middle. He's got Slaughter. That's a touchdown for Shiloh. So 8:29 to go in the 1st half, and it's 35-0 Shiloh as the Saints put it in the end zone. So a long drive. The Saints go the literal length of the field right there for the touchdown, and it's now with a 35-0 lead. We'll make Aiden Eastwood come on to kick an extra point. So Cliff, that drive was a lot of yardage, but a lot of positive yardage for the Saints.
Absolutely, and you started your own 2-yard line. You had a 11:21 on the clock. You finished the drive at 8:29, so just a little less than a 3-minute drive as the kick is up and good. The Saints march down the field, and they score on their 5th consecutive drive to open this game tonight.
So Shiloh with a 36-0 lead here in quarter number 2. Well, I've got a second. Our 2025 sponsors of Shiloh Christian Football, our field sign sponsors this year, Kelly Commercial Partners, Southern Siding Incorporated, North Rock Builders, Key Concepts LLC, as we'll see the replay right here of the touchdown pass from Cole down to Slaughter, just right up the seam, Cliff, wide open.
Guy, wide open, you're right. Safety just lets Zane Slaughter run free to the end zone. I mean, if you're any defense, but if you're Siloam here tonight, you've got to know who the players are. You've got to know number 11, Chandler Kemp. You've got to know where he is on the field at all times. And then you've got to know where number 3 is, Zane Slaughter. These guys have come in, had incredible careers here at Shiloh. They're having great senior seasons. And if you watch any video and tape of these guys at all, you know that they can find the open seams in the secondary. And you just got to make good decisions if you're the defense. A lot of times it doesn't happen. You're not always going to guess right. But, boy, you've got to stick to those guys and know where they are.
Eastwood's kick is a high sky kick. It's going to hit at the 30 and then bounce out of bounds at the 28. So penalty marker for an illegal kickoff of the Saints will trying to pin back the Panthers, but can't do it. So while they mark off the penalty right here, some more sponsors, field sign sponsors, 2025 Saints Football, Key Concepts LLC.
Free kick out of bounds.
Contractor Solutions Group, Feed the 479, Mills Cafe,
35.
Jarrett Industries, Salon H. Ross, Storms Orthodontics, Elliott Electrical Incorporated, Tar and Dock, Munson Chiropractic, MaxCore Industries, Blake Sable LLC, JBT MRL, Trust core value sponsored by the Frame family, along with the core value sponsors of toughness and teamwork, and relationships and excellence. Relationship signs by the Rowe family, and Protect the Tradition signed by the Henry family, and the Mounts family with the football coach's sponsor sign. So at the 35, 8:29 to go, they're going to fake the pitch, and this is not going to end well. It's a fumble. It's loose. The Saints are going to fall on it. I think Eldridge has it at the 30-yard line, and they do. So a fumble right there, just a little bit out of sorts, and Mason Short, man, you feel for him, the senior running back right there. They were trying to run the little toss pitch to him, and the Saint had a defender just shoot through the gap right there and just plowed into Short, and then a fumble, and the Saints take it over.
Yeah, he never had a shot there. I mean, as soon as he got the ball, or the ball's coming to him, he is getting hit. So great defensive pursuit by the Shiloh defense. They forced the turnover, short field for the Saints. 8:22 remaining here until halftime.
There's a handball to Charlie coming right side to the 30, and he's going to be taken down at the 31. Really good open field tackle there by number 9, Stuart Schwanger, for the senior, 6'3", 236. Made a good open field tackle right there on the sophomore running back for the Saints. So second down and 11, officially a loss of 1. Griffin Mason back in the game. He'll be to the left of Cole Creighton. Griffin's going to take the handoff, going to the 30. He's going to plow his way forward to the 25-yard line. Good, tough, physical run by Mason as he kind of planted the defender himself right there. Officially, let's see, at the 27. So we'll give Griffin 4 there. And it's going to be third down and 7 for the Saints. 2 receivers left. They'll send Slider in motion across the formation. Hard snap count. See if they can get the Panthers to jump off sides. They did, and they moved, but they didn't get in the neutral zone. So Shiloh will get the play call they want here on this third down and 7. Cole takes a snap. Looking, fires down the seam. It's caught by Slider at the 15, and he's taken down at the 12-yard line. So the Saints convert the first down right there as they move it down to the Panther 12 with 7:11 to go here in the first half, as the Saints are marching to hit the scoreboard above the 40 mark. Griffin Mason to the left of Cole Creighton. There's a snap. Griffin's going to take the handoff. Griffin's to the 10, bounces inside to the 5, and he's taken down at the 4, but there's a penalty marker down at the 4-yard line. So we'll see. I think they're going to get the Saints for a holding call here, but we'll see for sure.
Holding on the offense, 22. 10, replay first down.
So 10 yards back will move the football back to the 22. So the Saints will have a first down and 20. They need to get to about the 2-yard line for a first down. So they can pick up one without scoring, although you'll just take the touchdown right here. Creighton will have Griffin Mason to his right on this first and long. Handoff, Griffin's going to bounce it outside to the 15. Griffin's going to be taken off his feet at the 12-yard line, so Griffin will get 5 of it back right there. It's going to be second down. Still long for the Saints, but you got it back to a second down and a 10 play at the 12-yard line. Panthers running a player on the field late, and I think they're going to have to burn a timeout. Well, maybe not. There's a snap. Cole back to pass. Slip screen to Chandler, who flips it to an offensive lineman, and he's going to be taken out of bounds to the 10. So the Saints ran the hook and ladder that Siloam tried earlier in the game, but the Saints ran it with an offensive lineman, number 65, Maddox Welburn. Tried to get the senior a touchdown. Creative play, but it's going to be taken down at the 11. Third down and 9 for Shiloh coming up. Cliff, while the Saints are getting set, got an update for you. Saints play Lake Hamilton next week. Mountain Home leads Lake Hamilton 28-0 at the half at Mountain Home.
Well, the team's at the top of the conference standings, just flexing their muscles, doing what we expected everybody to do.
In motion across the screen. Here comes a screen back this way. It's a little bit overthrown, incomplete. And a lot of pressure on Cole Creighton. He had to really throw that one even a second before he wanted to on the screen, as the Saints tried to come back to the short side. Couldn't convert it, so now it's going to be fourth down and goal. Fourth down and 9 from the 11. Again, Shiloh can get a first down without scoring a touchdown on this play. About halfway through quarter number 2, Saints lead 36-0, trying to add to it. Beach in motion. Cole's going to roll to the right, looking, fires a bullet, incomplete, intended for Beach in the corner of the end zone, and that one goes incomplete. So the Saints will turn it over on downs deep in Siloam territory with 6:15 left to go in the first half, and a 36-0 lead as the Panthers will come back on offense. And so Cliff had a lot of good drives, but unfortunately penalties kind of killed that one a little bit for Shiloh.
Yeah, it really did, and just kind of stalled there at the end. And Saints were looking for their sixth drive and sixth score of the night, not able to convert. So Siloam's got to be feeling pretty good on their defensive side for stopping the Saints. They haven't been able to do it all night long, but able to stop that one again thanks to some penalties against Shiloh. So it's turnover on downs. Siloam Springs will take over the ball on their own 11-yard line. 6:15 remaining here until halftime. 36-0 Shiloh. Been all Shiloh here in the first half.
Saints are rolling so far tonight. That's the first time we haven't scored. They're going to run a little reverse. The ball's on the okay, he flipped it forward, so incomplete. I thought he'd handed it off there, but it's kind of hard to see that at that corner over there, but it's incomplete pass, so 2nd down and 10 coming up.
You know, it's plays like that, Billy, that's why that play was developed. It's an incomplete pass. Now, if you're running in front and I punch it, hand it off in your gut, and the ball pops loose, it's a fumble. But a little tap pass, pop pass, whatever people call it, where you're just kind of doing a little underhand shuffle pass to the runner, if it's fumbled, it is an incomplete pass.
Bad snap for the Panthers. They're going to hand it off and run to the right side to the 7-yard line, but they're going to lose yardage back there. Now it's going to be 3rd down and long. But, yeah, Cliff, it's an incomplete pass. Now, on the flip side, if you're the quarterback and you run it, you love the completion percentage pass because it went about 2 inches, and you get caught, you get a completion out of it. But 3rd down and long for Siloam, backed up deep in their own end with 5:46 to go with the clock running here in the first half. It's been all Shiloh, 36-0. Panthers have only crossed the midfield stripe once so far in this game. As the quarterback, Benson, looks at his play on his wrist. Bad snap. It's loose in the end zone. He's going to kick it out of the back of the end zone for a safety. There'll be a flag for illegal touching on Siloam, but it will be a safety. So, well, there's the safety you were talking about earlier, Cliff. Just we got it this time.
Yeah, smart play there by the quarterback. I mean, he was about to have the ball recovered by Shiloh in the end zone potentially there, so he just kicks it out for the safety. It is a penalty.
So the safety will give the Saints 2 points to make it 38-0, and then the penalty for Siloam is really kind of irrelevant because it just all the quarterback is doing right there is just keeping somebody from falling on it for a touchdown. So from his perspective at that point, that's a pretty good play.
Well, we need to see what's being discussed here on the field. I mean, looks like the Siloam offense is still on the field.
I think maybe what they're talking about, Cliff, is can you attach the penalty to the kickoff? I think that might be what the discussion's about. And I'll be honest, that's such an unusual play. We'll hear from the official right now.
Result of the play is a safety. We had illegal kicking on the offense. That penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
Okay, that was what the discussion was could you have the penalty also on the kickoff? So a safety for the Saint defense will push out the lead to 38-0, and not something you see every day there, Cliff, illegal kicking call. But creative, but a great job by the defense right there. Had Siloam backed up and deep in their own territory after the turnover on downs, and so the offense didn't score, and the defense is like, we got it, no problem, guys.
Yeah, I mean, all night long the defense has been in the backfield of Siloam and just been playing at a high level. They're at the line of scrimmage, so give our defense credit. In this first half, playing great, put pressure on the quarterback, put pressure on the running backs. We've seen several plays have just been blown up because our defense at the point of contact have just, in the point of a handoff, have just been in the backfield. And there was another instance of it. Now, the snap was bobbled. I understand that. But, well, I think it's just our defense has just been in the backfield, and it's just making Siloam rush things a little bit. They're just not not ready for the pressure that they're seeing.
Yeah, Cliff, you're going to see something very unusual here. Siloam's going to kick off from their own 10-yard line. So after the safety, they would have kicked off from the 20. Then you march off the 10-yard penalty that will be backing that up. So Siloam's going to kick off from the 10. Although I got one better, Cliff. I saw a high school game in Tennessee. A team kicked off from the opponent's 5-yard line last week. So the kid just drilled the upright, and the whole team went crazy. So it had to be a lot of unsportsmanlike penalties to get to kick off from the opponent's 5-yard line. But that, I don't know if I've ever seen one deeper than that. That was unusual. But kicking off from your own 10, I don't know if I've ever seen that either in a game.
Well, it's not ideal for Siloam Springs. I mean, nothing has gone right here in the first half for the Panthers. They're down 38-0. Still 5:26 remaining here until halftime. And now you're giving the ball back to Shiloh again. You're kicking deep in your territory, as you said, from the 10. It's just not ideal.
So it is not a traditional kickoff. It's going to be a free kick. So it's almost basically a punt. And he booms it. Man, what a tremendous kick. It's going to be taken all the way at the 35 of the Saints. So the 40, the 45 to midfield. Cuts it outside the 45 to the 40 to the 35. And then a big hit at the 31-yard line and then knocked out of bounds there. So good return on what was a great free kick.
Yeah, Will Fryer, sophomore running back on the kick return there. And it was a great punt into the wind at that. But Saints have great field position. Again, 5:17 remaining here until halftime. Shiloh will be at the Siloam Springs 31-yard line starting this drive.
5:17 left to go in the quarter. As Cliff mentioned, Saints are going to take over at the 31 of Siloam. Saints are going to have to send a player off, I guess, for a knee pad. That's the only thing I can venture to guess right there. So at the 31, Saints will take over first down and 10. Griffin Mason will be to the left. Saints trying to get their formation right as the play clock's at 6. They'll hand it off. Griffin's going to throw it, and Manny's got Bodenstein open at the 15, and Jake's taken down at the 14. So the Saints have been creative. Kemp's thrown the football tonight. Bodenstein's thrown the football tonight. Of course, Cole Creighton's thrown the football tonight. So 3 different pass receivers have 3 different quarterbacks have conceded. Quick handoff, Griffin Mason to the 15, Griffin to the 10, to the 5, and he's going to be taken down there. So he's going to gain 10 on that carry down to the Siloam 5. First down and goal for the Saints at the 5-yard line. Actually, they didn't give him the first down, so it's second and yard. Handoff, Griffin right up the middle. Griff's got the first down, and he's hit hard around the 4-yard line and then taken down there. So got a Panther down on the play, but it is a first down. They must have said his knee just was a little bit short of the first down on the previous play. So second down at the 3-yard line of Siloam. See if Griffin gets a touchdown right here. He's got a couple already tonight. We'll see if we can add one to the total. There's a snap, handoff Griff right up the middle. Going to have to work hard for it. He fights his way through, and he's in for the touchdown. Griff's third touchdown of the night as the senior running back who came back from injury last week against Russellville. He's had a good night. So Saints lead at 44-0 with 4:34 to go here in the first half. As Aiden Eastwood will come on to add the extra point attempt. Out of the hold of Bodenstein, who had a catch reception on that drive. Snap is good, hold is good, and the kick is up, and it is good. Right through the parking lot and bouncing off a couple cars. Good job by Aiden Eastwood as he'll come down and kick off. Saints lead 45-0 with 4:34 left to go in the first half, and you see Coach Tucker Barnard kind of pointing it out. So Coach has got some of his assistants down in Clarksville tonight, but the guys here have got to be happy with the performance so far.
Absolutely. I mean, defensively, again, they've done great. Offensively, they've done just whatever a word is, greater than great. The offense has just been clicking all night long. That drive only took 43 seconds to move it 31 yards into the end zone. I mean, the Saint offense, they've used 4 guys throwing the ball. Obviously, you've got Cole Creighton, your starting quarterback, passing the ball, having a good night throwing. Griffin Mason, one pass for 17 yards. Jake Bodenstein, 1 pass for 25 yards. Chandler Kemp, 1 pass for 17 yards. I mean, Coach Barnard and his staff, they're just pulling out all the stops tonight, showing a lot of different wrinkles.
Eastwood with his best kick yet is going to be fair caught at the 18-yard line. So Aiden with a good kick. Asasio just had to fair catch it. That's all he could do with that one. So Panthers, again, they've been shut out the last 3 weeks. Van Buren got them 38-0. Greenwood got them 42-0. Mountain Home got them 33-0. So struggling on offense, only have scored on average 5 points a game in conference play. That was really all of that came against Lake Hamilton, where they put up 20 points in that game. So, you know, Cliff, if you're down 45-0, you haven't scored in 3 weeks. If you're the coach's half of Siloam, you just got to say, guys, at some point we got to break the glass. Let's go.
Yeah, they just have not been able to do anything offensively. They haven't been able to get a run game going, anything on the ground at all. Their passing game is non-existent. They did have one pass that they had for a first down across the middle that was dropped. That would have helped them out a little bit, but really their offense has been penalties on Shiloh, really has attributed to Siloam's moving the ball down the field slightly. But if I remember right, they've only gotten across the 50 one time here in the first half. And again, it's just difficult when you just don't have an identity offensively or defensively. Here's one of our buses coming back from, I would guess that's probably from Clarksville. Probably the 7th graders coming back after their big victory over the Panthers.
There's a handoff coming this way, Estacio to the 15, and he's going to be taken down at the 18-yard line. So he got back to the original line of scrimmage, and that's it. So 3rd down, and again, long for the Panthers at their 19.
But you just see the great defensive pursuit by the Shiloh Saint defense, just stretching the play out. Siloam not able to turn it upfield at all, trying to outrun the corners. It's going to be very difficult to do that against this Saint defensive corner unit. They're very quick and take good angles on the outside.
3:26 to go. Panthers with a 3rd and long. They kind of look at their wrist for the long play call right here. Quarterback is going to hand it right up the middle, and he's hit hard at the 21-yard line. And again, nothing going at all right there. Good tackle by the Saints. Big number 42, Corbin Miller, sophomore linebacker. He hit the running back hard. And 4th down coming up, and Short's going to run out and punt it away with 2:58 to go in the quarter.
Yeah, Corbin Miller, just a sophomore, 2nd leading tackler on this Saint defensive unit. Number 26, the other Miller, I can't think of his name right now. Corbin Miller, the leading tackler with 63 tackles as the punt is kicked, and it'll be fair catch. It's bobbled.
Yeah, Beach fumbles it at the 48-yard line, and Siloam is going to fall on top of it. So the Panthers will take over. So special teams turnover by the Panthers earlier on a fumbled kickoff. This time the Saints fumble a punt with 2:32 to go in the quarter. So the Panthers will actually start a drive in Saint territory after the turnover. First one for the Saints tonight with 2:32 left to go in the first half. And Cliff, as the Siloam offense gets ready to go to the field, they're having a long night. But Lake Hamilton trails Mountain Home 35-0 with 4:28 to go in the 3rd quarter. And then, Cliff, they got to drive from Mountain Home to Lake Hamilton tonight. So on a Thursday night, going to be some sleepy kids in algebra class at first thing in the morning in Lake Hamilton. Snap, quarterback back to pass. He's in deep trouble. Throws it over the middle. It's incomplete. Nearly intercepted there. Boy, multiple blue jerseys were fighting for it, as the quarterback just kind of threw it off his back foot right there, incomplete. So that quarterback in the game is number 8, Caden Allen. He's a sophomore, 5'11", 152. So they've kind of run some different looks. Haven't seen Titus Benson, number 2, in at quarterback tonight, so I'm not sure if he sustained an injury or what, but we haven't seen him tonight, as the Panthers have kind of done some different looks. They're going to hand it off coming this way. Estacio's hit at the line of scrimmage, and nothing doing. He may have even lost a yard back to the 40. They'll give him to the 48, so it's a loss of 1. And 3rd down coming up for the Panthers. Tate Barnard had the football after the pile, and he was like, I had a pick 6, guys. If you want to give me a fumble, I'll take that. So Tate jumped a route last week. Cliff Russellville completed 1 pass last week on the Saint defense. And then they completed 1 pass to us as Tate had a pick 6 in the second half.
I saw the total offense was like Shiloh's near 500 yards and Russellville about 130, 140. So just definitely a mismatch on the field last week.
Quarterback in trouble at the 41, does complete it to midfield, and then he's going to be taken down hard at the 47-yard line. So they'll get back to the original line of scrimmage. It's going to be 4th down. There's a flag down at the 47. Maybe a face mask in that area. Not only thing I can really think of from right there.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, 15-yard penalty. Result of the play is a 1st down.
And that is what it is, a face mask call against the Saints on the tackle. So the 15 yards will give Siloam a 1st down at the Saint 32 with 1:37 left to go here in the half. Siloam's wide receiver on this was a little unsure what the play is. Quarterback's going to throw it deep down the right sideline, and it is intercepted, I think. Yep, intercepted, is in the end zone, so it's officially a touchback. I think that's Croft who got that, I believe. Yeah, number 30, Cooper Croft, picked that off in the end zone. So the junior with the interception in the end zone. So a touchback. Saints, as they got the turnovers, how they got the football, Siloam on the punt fumble, and then they were able to get an interception in the end zone. So the defense just keeps throwing up the goose egg in the first half.
Yeah, and they had an opportunity just, to do some shorter plays there. They go for a deep ball, one-on-one coverage, and just really played well by Croft there to make the INT.
So at the 20-yard line, Jake Bodenstein's going to go in at quarterback with the Saints leading 45-0. So Cole Creighton's night is done. There's a handoff right up the middle. I think that's Will Fryer. Will's going to carry it out to about the 24-yard line. There's a very late flag as we kind of had some pushing and shoving there in the middle of the pile. One of the Siloam players kind of got up late over the top of the running back, and one of the Saint offensive linemen's protecting his running back there. So we'll see what they call.
After the play, personal foul number 77 on the offense. It's a 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Be 2nd down.
So the Saints are going to get called for a personal foul after the play, and that's one of those. The second guy got caught right there, Colin Darien, the junior offensive lineman, gets called for that penalty. So, yeah, it was unfortunate there as the defender for Siloam kind of got up and stood over the running back, and his offensive lineman picked up for him, but the second guy got caught. So 1:17 left to go in the half. Saints ran the ball early on this drive. We'll see if they just try to do that right here and get this thing to the half. Play clock's at 12 as the play comes in. Let's send a man in motion across the formation. Jake takes the snap. He's going to hand it coming this way to the right, and Siloam is going to be all over it. They'll make a tackle back to the 11-yard line. So really no gain there at all for the Saints, and it's going to be 3rd down and about 20. Saints need to get all the way out to the 30, so I guess officially 3rd and 19. Either way, 38 seconds left to go in the half. Saints do have to run one more play as the play clock is a little bit under what the game clock is here at the first half. So Saints could run this play and then let the half run out unless Siloam elects to call a timeout. So Jake's kind of rolling the play clock down as much as he can at 5. They're going to hand it off right up the middle, and the Panthers are going to hit them at the line of scrimmage. So again, no gain with 10 seconds left to go in the first half. Don't see Siloam calling a timeout, so we're just going to let this thing roll to the half with the Saints with a 45-0 lead. But Cliff, as we hit the halftime mark, just really efficient on offense for the Saints, and a great job, a shutout by the defense in the first half.
Yeah, just great all-around game plan and execution of the game plan in the first half for the Saints. They did it, obviously, offensively, putting up 45 points in the first half. They did it defensively, not giving up any points in the first half. Special teams, had some special plays out there on special teams that disrupted the game a little bit. The only negative I look at is just a couple penalties at times, but obviously it didn't hurt Shiloh on the scoreboard, but some penalties kept some drives going for Siloam Springs. But, man, you've got to be pleased if you're Coach Barnard and fans and students, the band, and whoever's here at this game. You're cheering on Shiloh, 45-0 halftime lead. Flexing your muscles here as, man, we're in week 8 of the season, which is really hard to believe. You got 2 more conference games left on the road next week, and then senior night against Van Buren. And, again, top teams in the conference flexing their muscles tonight, just how we thought it would kind of shake down. and Saints doing what they need to do so far.
So we're at halftime. We'll kick it down to the field. Saints lead 45-0 over the Siloam Springs Panthers.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field for our halftime entertainment, the varsity dance team from Shiloh Christian School. Ladies and gentlemen, the Shiloh Christian varsity dance team. And now, please welcome to the field, the Shiloh Christian varsity cheer team. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the field the Shiloh Christian Marching Band. This season, the band is taking us on a trip down New York City's Broadway Avenue and showcasing some of the most popular Broadway musicals of all time. Sit back and enjoy the Phantom of the Opera, Little Shop, and Wicked. by Stephen Hunt and Chris Emmert, with color guard coach Lisa Renara and drum major Caden McKinney. The band earned a First Division Superior rating at this week's Regions Marching Contest and will compete at State on November 4th. The band is proud to be sponsored by CertaPro Painters of Northwest Arkansas. Go Saints and go Marching Band!
Man, don't wake up. I ain't going through paces. This right here, the new way to basics. Came through on the wrong side, but the Holy Ghost brought it back. Woke up with a new heart, new mind, new purpose intact. Tell me who's this stranger. Tell me who's this stranger. Dead men don't wake up. So tell me who's this stranger. Came through on the wrong side, but the Holy Ghost brought it back. Woke up with a new heart, new mind, new purpose intact.
One way. There's only one way. One way.
Like what?
This the only way. This the only way. By my testimony and his blood we overcame. This the only way. This the only way. I believe that Jesus died for me. I know I'm saved. Yeah. This the only way. 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 Jesus Christ, that's the only name, yeah. So invite him in. BC, the boy was sick, but now the son, my vitamin. Receiving Jesus, now the cross move me like I've been sin. We be saving people on the web, I feel like Spider-Man. What? Feel like Peter Parker, I'm healed, I don't need a doctor. My story's so crazy, man, my father is a genius author. And we going even farther, this is what got Stephen martyred. About to get my run on, so I promise I don't need the commas. They asked my mama how's he do it, she said Jesus taught him. Seasons change, people came and then they leave like autumn. I'm trying to get more of the Lord, that's why I'm leaving Sodom. They say hell is hot, but my songs are even hotter. The devil sweating when I drop, each song could be a sauna. I heard the devil going hard, I'm going even harder. Let's flood the city with the gospel till it's wet. Underwater like bikini bottom, yo. This the only way, this the only way. By my testimony and his blood we overcame, yeah. This the only way, this the only way. I believe that Jesus died for me, I know I'm saved, yeah. This the only way, this the only way. This the only, this the only way. This the only way, this the only way. Jesus Christ, that's the only name. I was trying to find my way until I found the way. I was trying to make a name until I found the name. Throwing up my hands to heaven like the YMCA. Running home untouchable, God stole the show, now we safe. We safe, yeah, we safe. Say the name, not Satan, MIA, like where the heat play. Father, Son, and Spirit, yeah, I rep the three like D-Wade. Jesus, you my king, so have it your way like it's BK. Cause I'm in the game like EA. Trying to be brave like the team from GA. I don't want the fruit if it's forbidden like eBay. Got my mojo from the Lord, oh behave. Oh behave. So how many ways are there? Like how many? Hey, yeah, okay, I'm talking about that. Great love, good news, have you heard about it? This life I choose, spread the word about it. I was so down bad in the worst way. One man, two nails, I'm the third king. Ain't it funny how I made a bit of money, but the money don't change how I feel. I just need to heal, unseen no work, what's the deal? Got me searching for a love that is real. Cause it's not giving it up just to get some. It's not getting dressed up for attention. Talking about a greater love, talking about a greater love. How it all went down on that road. When he popped back up on the low. I'm the one that he picks no photo. I ain't the same now. Whole world flipped round when he came down. I swear my whole life changed when he came round. I got my 2 feet planted on the safe ground. That's how I know. You won't find it in the club with the lights off. Can't buy, you don't know what the price costs. Talking about a greater love. Talking about a greater love. My soul, oh my soul, worship his holy name. Sing like never before, oh my soul, worship the holy name. Wait, hold up. Yeah, I got a God don't change with the season. No, yeah, 10,000 reasons I can believe in. God so good, say less I'm breathing. Yeah, 10,000, I'm a believer. Yeah, I got a God don't change with the season. Yeah, 10,000 reasons that I can believe in. Yeah, God so good, say less I'm breathing. Say yeah, 10,000 reasons. Yeah, ACA, that's the law. New sheriff in it. KB on, passing balls. I'm a lawyer in the booth. I ain't never seen nobody do it like this. Owns every inch and I rule it like this. Look at my world, that's a little like drip. Only go to my list, I'm like, who did I miss? Let it breathe, ooh, cool. Let it breathe, yeah. Peace, peace, Jesus, that's my creed. Ooh, Michael B, yeah, he bossing. Don't be a clown, but you're not it. Worship in a mosh pit. I'm in this palm like the tropics. Men and women get in it, they get it, then they live again. Good and generous, definitive. That's from the Genesis. Unlimited, inhibited. Look at all of these witnesses. Give you the business. Satan body, homie, he finished it. I got a God, don't change with the season. 10,000 reasons I can believe in. God so good, say less, I'm breathing. 10,000, I can believe him. I got a God, don't change with the seasons. No. 10,000 reasons I can believe it. God so good, say less, I'm breathing. 10,000 reasons. Yeah. Ooh. Nothing here to prove how we move. Let me go. Yeah. Plenty soul. Yeah. Bring a smoke. Is that a joke? Yeah.
Well, welcome back to the second half as we get ready to kick off. Saints with a commanding 45-0 lead over the Siloam Springs Panthers. And so we've got a couple final scores around the conference tonight, so we'll give you a little bit of an update on what's going on there. So two games kind of went as maybe somewhat expected tonight. As Eastwood's kick is ready, it's going to be fielded at the 35 and then falling on it right there. So no return as we get ready to start the second half. So a couple scores, as we mentioned. Greenwood all over Van Buren tonight, 56-3. That's a final in Greenwood. And then Mountain Home defeats Lake Hamilton 42-7. In that game, Saints head to Lake Hamilton next Friday night, so it'll be a Halloween in Lake Hamilton. Saints lost to Lake Hamilton last year at home, so try to get a little bit of revenge on the Wolves with a long road trip down to South Arkansas. They'll be ahead of us, so it is a running clock here in the second half. So you see the clock is running. It's going to be 1st and 10 for the Panthers, as they'll have Caden Allen at quarterback. He's going to hand it off and then hit the line of scrimmage and then scooting forward to around the 40-yard line. And you'll see a whole bunch of different Panthers kind of in the game as they'll play some young guys, much like the Saints will do right there. That's Jaden Coleman, a 10th grader who got the carry for Siloam Springs. So Cliff, in the first half, though, for the Saints, as we kind of recap it, just efficient offensively, defensively, just every aspect of the game, just totally dominant.
Yeah, they really did. I mean, they scored on 6 of their 7 drives, and then their 8th drive was the end of the half there. But, yeah, just everything going Shiloh's way offensively.
Handoff to Asterio is going to come this way, and he's going to be tripped up and officially going to lose a yard back to the 39. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and about 6 for the Panthers with 10:28 to go. So as we Saints have primarily, they've got a few guys out there on difference on defense, but you're going to see a lot of the starters out there on defense at least for a little bit before they kind of just go wholesale and bring some different guys in. No JV game this week, so you'll probably see some of those 10th graders play, particularly here in the 4th quarter as we get to it. 3rd down, a little bit of a bobble snap, and Hernandez is in the backfield, and down goes the Siloam Springs running back. So Astacio is going to lose 2, and it's going to be a familiar situation for the Panthers as they're going to run out the punting team and punt it right here with Mason Short. So another 3 and out. Good job by the Saint defense to start the second half.
Again, Siloam offensively just not able to get anything going. They had a 5-yard rush there on that drive, but lost a couple yards on another run and just nothing doing offensively, and they have to punt the ball away. Silas Nance is back, and he just lets the punt go over his head. Siloam Springs roll. It'll roll inside the 20-yard lines where the Saints will take over. Again, a lot of young guys, a lot of JV guys. As you said, no JV game this week, so you'll see a lot of the younger guys out on the offensive unit.
We would assume Jake Bodenstein will probably lead the offense, but we'll keep a check on it and just kind of give you some different guys for the Saints, or we'll pull the roster out. But Cliff, good half on the offense from Griffin Mason at running back.
Absolutely. Good seeing 14 carries tonight, 106 yards, 3 touchdowns. So those are Griffin Mason numbers that we're used to seeing after being out for a few weeks.
So Bodenstein's going to hand it off. Coming this way up to the 20 to the 22 is Fryer, as he'll get about 5, maybe 6 on the carry. So good job by the sophomore running back there. You see the Saint defense kind of talking over what they want to do on the sideline. Blake Williams, they're kind of looking on, but it's been a happy job for the defense tonight. They've got to be pleased with what they have seen out of their crew. No lack of focus on an early game week. There's a handoff up the middle. It's going to be spun down at the 26-yard line. Short gain there of 3, but 3rd down and 3 as Fryer made the carry. So kind of riding the sophomore running back right there early in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Will had a good game last week in Russellville. Led the team in rushing. Had, I think it was about 10 or 15 carries for 87 yards, if I remember right. He's got 5 carries tonight, 15 yards early on here in the 3rd quarter.
Will's got a big hole up the middle of 35, the 40, and he spins up to the 44-yard line, so 43 officially. Will's going to get about 12 on that carry, but a 1st down. Good job by the offensive line. Darian in there at center had a big hole and gave a good job for the run here. Venderis on the stop for Siloam. Pass out in the flat. It's going to be called to the 40, trying to bounce outside of the 42, and then nothing doing. Here comes the rest of the Panther defense. So Saints are going to lose. Well, they'll give him maybe a loss of 1 yard. The pass was caught out there by Weston Huckabee. You've seen Weston play a good bit this year. When Chandler Kemp went down with a little bit of a banged up earlier, you saw him come in. So 2nd and 11 coming up. Cole Creighton and talking to one of his offensive linemen who's been injured, so hopefully get McIntyre back in a few weeks for the Saint offense. At the 42, they're going to hand it off coming this way. Cuts it upside to the 45. Nice cut there, then taken down at the 47-yard line. So good run there by Landon Sabatini, as he got a few carries last week as well to the 47. Makes it a little bit more manageable 3rd down and 6 for the Saints. Again, a running clock with a 45-0 lead as the Saints got past the 35-point sportsmanship rule with some sophomores in the game. Going to fire over the middle. It's caught. And then up to the 28, down to the 27-yard line. So that time they get Fryer out of the backfield into the slot. And a good pass by Bodenstein takes it all the way down to the Panther. Let's see where they put it, on the Panther 27. So big pickup there of 25 for the Saints at the 27-yard line of Siloam. Handoff, Will coming right side, picks his way to the 25, and he's going to be spun down around the 22. But Will with a good 1st down run of 5 has the offensive line giving him some good holes to move through. And 2nd down coming up at the Panther 22.
Yeah, again, Will Fryer had a great game last week running the ball. You see him catching the ball coming out of the backfield. Running the ball hard again tonight. 7 carries early on here in the 3rd quarter, 34 yards.
Will's going to spin his way forward for about 4 right there, down to the 18. So it's going to bring up 3rd down and a yard for the Saints. As Shiloh will kind of look to the sidelines and slow it down just a hair. Won't go quite full tempo that you would normally see. Kind of a stack look right here. Will's going to take the snap, handoff. Hit at the line, but Will does a good job of spinning his way forward down to the 16-yard line. That'll move the chains and give the Saints a 1st down. So Fryer was kind of hit at the line, but is able to spin and fall forward, which is a great trait of running backs. Want those guys falling forward and he does right there for the first down.
Well, he's seen a good guy in front of him the past couple years do it, and Griffin Mason always gets hit, falls forward, picks up that extra yard or two.
Saints are going to send a man in motion behind Jake, going to fire it out in the flat, and boy, Siloam's all over this one. So taken back down at the 20-yard line. Hey, Shiloh got it that time to Eli Munson, the sophomore, but Eli was hit in the backfield that time as Panthers were all over that one. So a loss on that play of about 3. So second down coming up. So we'll see if the Saints throw it a little bit right here with Jake Bodenstein. Jake's going to roll to the right. Looking, has time and doesn't have anything. Jake's just going to take off and run to the 15, and then he's going to be plowed down around the 11-yard line. So Bodenstein picks up 8. Just didn't have anybody open, so just kind of tucked it and run, got what he can. That's one thing Jake does well. He can run the ball and move the pile a little bit. He does down to the 11. So third down, much more manageable now, about 3rd and 5 for the Saints here in the third quarter. Shiloh with 45 first half points, and that's where this game still stands here early in the third quarter. 3rd and 5. Jake's going to drop back to pass. He's looking in the end zone. It's going to be, I think, caught right there at the goal line, and it is. Touchdown for the Saints. Weston Huckabee is a yard deep in the end zone as he makes the catch. So the 51st point of the night for the Saints as they're able to convert on a 3rd down and 5 for the touchdown. So the junior quarterback hits the sophomore wide receiver for the touchdown. So Weston gets it in the end zone, and now we got an extra point coming from Aiden Eastwood to try to tack on another point for the Saints, leading 51-0 with 3:15 left to go in the clock running of the third quarter. Good snap, good hold, and the kick is up, and it is good. So 3:15 to go in the third quarter, and the Saints expand their lead to 52-0 over the Panthers of Siloam Springs.
Yeah, great job there by a lot of younger players. You see the replay here of the touchdown pass. Good protection by the offensive line, just letting Jake sit in the pocket, allowing his sophomore receiver, Weston Huckabee, run the route and then just come back to the ball. Great job, good route run by Weston there where only he could catch the pass, had the defender behind him, and he just sets up right inside the end zone, and a pretty easy throw and catch for the score. And like you said, Shiloh up 52-0, 3:15 remain here in the third quarter. The second half will just fly by, but you know, you talked about just the teams we thought would be at the top as the conference season has continued week after week. They're at the top. You got Greenwood leading the pack here in the 6A West at 5-0, number 1 team in the state. After this win tonight, Shiloh will move to 4-1, Mountain Home 4-1. Shiloh has a tiebreaker over Mountain Home. And then Van Buren at 4-1, the Saints. And the Van Buren Pointers will play right here at Champion Stadium on senior night here in 2 weeks. And that'll be a big game as the kick is returned just past the 30-yard line for Siloam Springs. But next week, we'll be on the road. Last road regular season game at Lake Hamilton, about 3.5-hour drive from northwest Arkansas, depending on where you are here in the northwest part of the state. You can drive interstate the whole way. If you go Little Rock, it's a little bit longer that way, or you can go down Highway 71 south of Fort Smith. A little more curvy, 2-lane road there. It's not the most fun drive from northwest Arkansas, but hopefully we'll have a good turnout of fans there. That's Halloween next Friday night, right?
It is Halloween.
Okay,
so
let's hope we don't have anything spooky happen down there.
We want no tricks for the Saints on Halloween. Just give a lot of treats of a victory on Halloween night. So they're going to fire out in the flat. Incomplete. Intended right there for number 9, Schwimminger. Easy for me to say, but pass incomplete, 2nd and 10.
I know Lake Hamilton will enter that game at 1-4 in the conference, but they're still jockeying for a playoff spot themselves. They're tied with Fort Smith Southside. Russellville's winless. Siloam Springs winless. But Lake Hamilton and Southside, they're really trying to figure out, where are we the number 5 seed? Are we the 6th seed? Whatever. And then there's still some jockeying going on in the top 4 seeds. This quarterback is tackled behind the line of scrimmage there. Saint defense doing a good job again of getting pursuit in the backfield. But Greenwood, they just keep marching forward, defending state champs, and just continue to play like it, undefeated. And and Van Buren, Mountain Home, Shiloh really battling out for that number 2 spot, which is very critical because, again, that's a home playoff game. That's a first-round bye, and things looking good for Shiloh there because they do have the tiebreaker over Mountain Home. So really Shiloh would have to lose twice.
Bad snap. Quarterback's going to fall on it back at the 19-yard line. So the Panthers on 3rd and 15 are now going to have 4th and a long. But, yeah, Cliff, you talk about Van Buren. They were 4-0 coming into conference play tonight, but the last 3 weeks of the season, they get Greenwood, Mountain Home, and Shiloh. So their schedule very front-loaded as far as the lower teams in the conference, kind of the opposite of what Shiloh had.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, Shiloh started off with Greenwood. That's quite the way to start off your conference season. But the past 2 seasons, Shiloh's lost that game, and then things have turned out well for them last year as far as marching on to Little Rock.
Well, here is our second safety of the night. Unless he can kick it, well, they're going to say he didn't. He got it off and did not step out of the back of the end zone. So good job by Short of somehow getting that off. Ball's going to roll dead at the 15-yard line. So it was almost our second safety of the night.
I know. I looked like Shiloh's defense. They're right in his face, and they could have tackled him, run him out of bounds. The play isn't dead. It looks like someone picked up the ball. Surely that's not how Siloam Springs going to score, but they are. They're giving them the touchdown.
Well, there's flags all over the place on the back end, so nobody for Shiloh touched the football that I'm aware of. So the officials who already had a safety tonight and a penalty on the safety with an illegal kicking call are going to get to another unusual one right here. Is the kicking game for Siloam has been an adventure tonight, to say the least. So the Panthers picked the football up and ran with it, but Cliff, I am digging deep into my thoughts here on this one. Unless the ball didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, it may still be a live ball. That's the only thing I can think of why they would pick it up and justify them running the football. But the line of scrimmage was the 20.
The FAR official on the Siloam Springs sideline is calling Siloam back.
Because beyond the live ball, illegal forward pass on the offense, loss of down, first down, Shiloh.
I don't know. I don't know what happened there, Billy, but I do know that the last thing you said is Shiloh's ball. So the Saints will have the ball. The end of the quarter happened during that play, 52-0 Shiloh, and it looks like they will get the ball at where the punt ended up, plus a penalty. So about the 14-yard line, looks like where Shiloh will take over. But they're going to have to change ends of the field here.
Tell you what, while we do that, if we've got our play of the game, we'll try to work that in. So our Prison Pools and Outdoors play of the game, we'll try to work that in here as the Saints lead at 52-0 over the Panthers of Siloam Springs.
The Prism Pools and Outdoors play of the game.
So the Saints are going to go to the 30, the 35, the 40. Kemp to midfield, the 45, the 40. Chandler just running away from the defense of Siloam. 10-5 touchdown Saints. So 7:06 rather to go in the first half of the first quarter.
This play of the game brought to you by Prism Pools and Outdoors.
A 50-0 lead over the Panthers of Siloam Springs. As we thank you again for our Prison Pools and Outdoors play of the game as Chandler Kemp's touchdown earlier in that one. It's been a good night for the Saint offense. They have scored, so it's going to be a 1st down and 10 at the Siloam 14-yard line to start the fourth quarter after the penalty on the Panthers. Connor Clark in the game at running back for the Saints now. There's the snap. Jake's going to fire. Quick out route's going to be caught at the 8 and then trying to push his way forward and then pushed out of bounds, but they're just going to keep, obviously, the clock running here as number 89, Elijah Munson, makes that catch for the Saints at the 7-yard line. So gain of 7. It'll bring up 2nd and 3. Saints just kind of letting it roll, 11:45 to go. You see some of the crowd who's stuck around on a Thursday night. Everybody's got their sweatshirts on. It's a little bit cool tonight, kind of the first time we've had some real good fall weather to make it good. So Saints with a 2nd down and 3, play clock at 10. Jake's going to hand it off, coming this way to the 5 and all the way into the end zone is number 14 for the Saints, Connor Clark. So he gets his first varsity touchdown as Shiloh extends the lead to 58-0. So Connor with the touchdown, and the Saints will kick the extra point as, again, clock continues to run as we are in the sportsmanship rules. The Saints do it in. But, hey, Cliff, got to give it credit when these 10th graders come in on a Friday night. Hey, they're like, here's my chance, guys, and they're taking advantage.
Absolutely, and give credit to the offensive line of creating a big hole for Connor to run through. So great job. It starts up front with the big guys on the line. They take their blockers and clear a path, knowing the guy behind them is carrying the ball. And offensive linemen, they get satisfaction when a guy scores behind them. I mean, you have to as an offensive lineman because you're probably not going to carry the ball much yourself. Here's the replay. Look at the hole that the offensive line creates. Connor gets the ball, good blocking, and then he just zips right through there for his first score as a Shiloh Saint, varsity Saint, that is.
Yeah,
so
offensive.
Congrats to Connor Clark. But, yeah, the big guys, they get satisfaction up front for creating a hole, knowing somebody behind them scores, and that they've got to find satisfaction in that, knowing I took my guy, I cleared him out, paved the way. And Saints put another score on the board. Didn't take them very long at all.
Yeah, Gavin Duncan, one of the sophomore offensive linemen, he had his guy pinned in the end zone right there for his classmate to get in the end zone. So 59-0, Saints in the lead. So Shiloh's kind of letting a little clock run right here before they go kick it off to the Panthers of this. So Shiloh, as Cliff mentioned, on the road at Lake Hamilton next week. Saints fell at home last year to Lake Hamilton. Still wind up getting the 2 seed thanks to a tiebreaker, but 2 and 6 will be the Wolves as they come into that game. They do have a conference victory, but they've struggled a little bit as late, had a rough night in Mountain Home and that really, really long trip that they had to take tonight. So Saints will have to go down there and play pretty well on the road at Lake Hamilton next Friday night. There's the kick. It's going to be a short kick. Fair catch is going to be called for by Lake Hamilton, and not by Lake Hamilton, by Siloam Springs at the 29-yard line. So it's going to be a 1st and 10 for the Panthers at the 29. So we'll try to call some names on defense that are out there as the Saints make a whole lot of substitutions. See number 8, Beckham Floyd, out there at cornerback. Number 10, Weston Huckabee's going to go. He's going to play a little bit of defense. Cooper Croft's going to be out there on defense as well. See number 38, Talus Gump, junior defensive back, out there for the Saints. And it's like we got 25, Adam Henry, on the field. So we'll see some of the young guys get the opportunity to play. These are the kind of games those young guys enjoy. They get on the field on a Thursday night in this case, but kind of the Friday night feel. Panthers with a 1st down. They're just going to run it to the running back, Estacio, and he's got the biggest run of the night for him, the 35, the 40 to the 45, and then Huckabee's going to get him out of bounds in Saint territory. There's flags all over the place on that side. I think the Saints are going to get called for a face mask as well, as they were Huckabee was trying to get him out of bounds, but may have got some face mask on the tackle.
Personal foul, face mask on the defense, 15-yard penalty from the end of the run, 1st down.
Boy, that really helped Siloam with the 15-yard face mask penalty that the Saint defense committed. And so you got an interesting thing here in the last seven and a half minutes here, Billy. You've got a team that's trying to score for the first time since September 26th, and that is the Siloam Springs Panthers. They haven't put a point on the board since September. Then you've got a defensive unit here for Shiloh that's trying to keep this game a shutout.
Yeah, Panthers pretty much have their starters in the game other than maybe at quarterback. So they're going to run a pass over the middle. It's intercepted at the 25-yard line. So I think that's Blake Williams. It is Blake Williams with the interception at the 25-yard line. So Shiloh will get a stop as the Saint defense comes up with another turnover. As Blake, the 5'9", 175-pound junior, with the interception. So at the 25-yard line, Saint offense will take over. And so the Panthers, who had something going with a lot of starters out on the field. Hey, Cliff mentioned the 10th graders made a play right there. In that case, a junior.
They absolutely did. And, man, if you're Siloam Springs, just keep running the ball a little bit. You don't have to force the pass. You haven't been successful in the passing game all night long. And just a mistake there by Siloam Springs.
They're going to run it right up the middle right here to the 25, to the 30. Good hard run out to the 32-yard line for the Saints. That's number 48, Elijah Ahart, on the carry for the Saints. 186 pounds. Running back with a carry, so 2nd down and 2 as Elijah got 8 on that carry. Jake takes a snap, going to hand it off. Good block there to the to the 35 and out to the 36. And that's going to be another Saint first down. So, again, kind of get some different running backs in there. That one's 14, Connor Clark, who got that carry for Shiloh as we hit the halfway mark of the 4th quarter. Saints have thrown the shutout out, even with some reserves in here in the second half. So we'll see how much they can eat of this clock in the final drive and kind of run it off again. Running clock with the sportsmanship rule with a 59-0 lead. Bodenstein will get his team set. He's going to quickly fire out a pass in the flat. It's going to be caught by Huckabee at the 42-yard line. And it's going to be caught there, but there's a flag in the middle of the field, and I think the Saints are going to get called for an illegal alignment down the field.
On the off. Down.
Well, I didn't see the official mark it off, but either way, it's going to be back to the 30-yard line. Pretty sure it's a legal man down the field. So Saints will be backed up, kind of wipe off the pass there. 2nd down. At the 30-yard line, Jake takes a snap, hands it coming right, and then in the backfield and in trouble and down, a loss of 2 there at the 32-yard line. And so, Cliff, when you got some youngsters on the field, you start kind of making guys. You got guys on the run off the sidelines who are an offensive line one play. They're going to go to receiver the next play, so they got to change jersey numbers. We got coaches putting on new jerseys. So, and unlike Georgia Tech, we don't have the really baggy jerseys. I don't know if you saw that a few weeks ago. Georgia Tech had a player that they needed to do that with, and his jersey was about 7 times too big for his body. So, heard the Tech coach say we will never see that jersey again. I don't think he was very happy with his equipment staff. At the 27, back to pass. Bodenstein fires out the flat. Good pass. Caught at the 40 to the 44, and then going to be spun down there. Big pickup for the Saints, though. They had 3rd and 18, and they get it all the way up to the 44-yard line as Elijah Munson, who's caught a couple passes tonight, makes another catch there. So it's going to be 3rd down and about 3 at the 44, 3:50 left to go. Bodenstein with an accurate, good pass across the way right there. Saints going to send a man in motion. They're going to flip it that way. Can they get the first down? They do. Cross midfield into Panther territory down to the 49-yard line. That's Trooper Schenkel who took that pass catch, so Trooper gets the first down at the Panther 49-yard line.
You know, a lot of the guys that are in the game right now, Billy, 10th graders, JV guys, they're used to playing on Thursday nights. You know, a year ago they were playing on Thursday night here in junior high action.
Yeah, Saints going to run a kind of a jet sweep this way, and then out of bounds at the 45-yard line is 44-yard line is Landon Sabatini. So Landon's going to get 5. Landon's got some more playing time the last couple weeks. A sophomore along with Weston Huckabee's kind of filled in when some guys have gone down in key moments and done a good job for the Saints. So Landon with a run of 5 there. 2nd down for Shiloh as they'll kind of look to the sidelines again. Trying to run the clock as much as you can while still kind of keeping these guys out there getting some important reps on a Thursday night for Friday nights that will matter probably in a year for some of these guys. There's a handoff, good hole, left side to the 41, and it's going to be a nice tackle by Siloam Springs at the 42. So ripping him down there was Dean Floyd, his own sophomore for the Panthers, to get it there. So short gain. It's going to bring up 3rd down for the Saints and 3 at the 42-yard line. After this play, we'll roll under 2 minutes to go in this football game. Saints with a 59-0 lead. Shiloh will move to 4-1 and 6-2 overall, with 4-1 in the conference, 6-2 overall with the win tonight before they head to game number 9 next week at Lake Hamilton. There's a snap. Jake's going to pull it. He makes a man miss. He just fights off a defender and down to the 37-yard line. Maybe the ball came loose. Siloam was ripping at it as hard as they could, but I think Jake was able to hold on to it at the 37. That's going to be a first down for the Saints as we'll go under 2 minutes to go in the game. So, Cliff, will kind of wrap it up here. Last 2 minutes. Hey, a little revenge for Lake Hamilton. They came up here last year and got us. We need to go to their place and return the favor next week.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm sure that the guys that were on the team last year and experienced that did not like losing at home and just losing the way that that they lost. I mean, it just wasn't a real cleanly played game by Shiloh, and you gave up a lot of rushing yards. And really, Lake Hamilton kind of just pounded us on the ground. And I know this St. defense is going to take a little pride down to Hot Springs area, and wants a better effort next week, and I expect to see a better effort next week out of our defense and stopping the run, and hopefully we can just continue to solidify our spot in the conference. You see Connor Clark on the run there to the right side, but solidify our spot. If Greenwood's not going to lose, let's get that number 2 seed. Like I said, what comes with that is a bye here in 2 weeks, first round bye. And then in the second round of playoffs, you get a home game. So, there's some advantages to that. You don't want to go on the road as Jake Bonestein's in victory formation, and the Saints will roll to a 59-0 win here, and things just not working out Siloam's way. Again, they are shut out for the 4th straight conference week, and the Saint offense did a great job of putting up points early and often. Saint defense keeping the Panthers out of the end zone, and just a well-played game by the Saint offense and defensive unit, and everyone contributing to that. But, yeah, next week's a big game, and we can't look at the records and see that Lake Hamilton is 1-4 and Shiloh's 4-1. You can't look at that. You got to have a good week of practice and go on the road next week, play your best, and see what happens there. Hopefully come out with a win, and then you've got big senior night against Van Buren here in 2 weeks at home, but we got to win next week first.
Yeah, it'll be senior night and homecoming a little bit for sure for the Saints, because that kind of got postponed due to the weather a little bit. But big one for the Saints next week as we head down the Hot Springs area. Saints win their last 2, though. They'll at least have the 2 seed and to get a first-round bye in the playoffs. So for Brian Dunaway and his great crew, Cliff Anderson, we thank you for joining us on this Thursday night. Final score from Champion Stadium is the Saints 59 and the Siloam Springs Panthers 0. Thank you, everybody, and have a good night.